Welcome to Cottonwood High School for Utah Falconz football as the Falcons welcome in their newly division rival, the San Diego Surge. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Dane Stewart here with Trevor Allen to bring you today's match. And Trevor, we've got a fantastic match coming up here from Cottonwood High School.
Yeah, and really everyone's probably saying it's probably going to be another Falcons matchup where it's a dominant game, but I would not look at that. 172 points scored for the Surge so far this year, and they've only allowed 8, which is less than of what the Falcons have allowed this year. So it should be a good game, especially because just watching them in warm-ups, a lot of size, and there's some players who have a combination of size and speed.
Those numbers you just mentioned, the #1 scoring offense and the #1 scoring defense in the Pacific Division, both marks held by San Diego. You mentioned watching their warm-ups. This is a team to be reckoned with. But as we introduce the Utah Falcons, Trevor, this is a team that has had a lot of success over recent years in the IWFL.
And a lot of it is with Keisha Cox running the football. She's the lead back, has 4 touchdowns and over 400 yards. And also Tina Tella has 5 touchdowns. But it's all about that triple option and how they're able to utilize that and that they do it to perfection.
Dynamic offense, 41-1 over the last 4 years are the Utah Falcons. Can they improve on that mark, or does the Surge have other plans? It's the San Diego Surge and the Utah Falcons coming up next. Preparing for the kickoff here from Cottonwood High School between the Utah Falcons and the San Diego Surge. Trevor, give us a key or two what you're going to look for early on in this matchup.
For San Diego, I would look for them to load up the box and force the Falcons to throw over the top, because on the year they've only thrown 43 times, the Falcons have, for 235 yards. On the ground, 1,500 yards. So look for them to try and shut that down, load up the box with all those big bodies and try and shut them down. For the Falcons, just keep doing of what you've been doing to get yourself here to this point, and really what that is running that triple option to perfection. If you can get that down just like you have been, don't have any costly turnovers, should be a really good game.
Going to be a fantastic matchup to watch along the line of scrimmage, offensive line, defensive line. Who's able to win that battle up front, probably going to dictate a lot of who has success in this matchup. The Utah Falcons going blackout today, wearing the all-black uniforms, and San Diego wearing their road whites as we prepare to kick off. It will be the Falcons kicking to the Surge. I remember a couple of times last year, and Trevor, you've been able to see the Falcons more this year than I have. Not afraid to run some trickeration, the Falcons. Typically the playbook pretty wide open. Don't know if we'll see that on the opening kick.
Probably going to see it on this first drive too, especially if they're going to load up the box. I would definitely see that when the Falcons get the ball back. But I kind of want to see what happens here for San Diego if they're able to create some confidence going on.
This kick handled at the 20-yard line. That is Deanna Guidry as she brings it up across the 40 to about the 46, 47-yard line. Good field position for San Diego to start their opening drive.
So what I look for here is the quarterback to try and get some confidence going for San Diego, force the Falcons to make some costly mistakes on the defensive side of the ball, and try and go up the field, because really the Falcons, whenever they're playing teams, when they're on offense, they get a couple of really good chunk plays, but then they have some costly penalties. See if they can keep it clean.
Clean is going to be the key today. Melissa Gallegos, the quarterback. She'll start in the shotgun here on first down. Looking to go deep, has a receiver open, that just behind Guidry, who took that opening kickoff.
Really, all that she needed to do was go a little bit more to the left, and that would have been bred in the basket. But pretty good coverage there, but maybe keep it a little bit tighter on those edges.
Boy, if that ball's thrown ahead of her rather than behind her, Guidry may be off to the end zone. And, boy, tell you what, San Diego coming out, and even though that play goes incomplete, I'd say early success. They found an opportunity there, just didn't capitalize.
Yeah, and I would like to see them start forcing those corners and try and beat them right off the line.
2nd and 10. As a shift in the formation, trips to the top of the screen. Coming across Is this thrown into the flat just a little bit in front of Melanie Quijano? Incomplete on second down. It'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Probably wanted to try and go run there just to see of what your running back can give you and see if that offensive line can get that push up front. But now you're probably going to have to throw it on 3rd and long.
I'm actually surprised they didn't go run, to your point. Try to get a little more manageable down and distance here on 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and long coming up. Now a bunch formation to the bottom. Just 4-man pressure over the middle. That ball caught. Still on her feet. Down the sideline, it's Guidry with the touchdown on 3rd and 10. It goes 54 yards and the surge score on their opening drive.
I don't think you really see this much, Dane, but my goodness, that was a great throw. Coming across the middle, right on the money, a great throw by the quarterback, and just was able to break a tackle and go right into the end zone. A really good confidence booster there for the San Diego Surge. Now going to keep the Falcons on their toes a little bit.
As they bring on the point after try. They're going to fake it. Boy, Utah all over this. Nowhere to go.
Close. Didn't have a chance right there, Dane, but I mean, at least you're able to salvage something out of that drive. You know, they're not putting 8 on the board, but 6 and still manageable. Now I really want to see what happens on the Falcons side of the ball.
We'll learn a lot. The Falcons on that one, giving up the long pass. The safety had an opportunity to make the play. Came up strong and just missed Guidry as she made the Falcons pay, and it's 6-0 San Diego.
Really did not want to miss twice on those 2 passes on that first one. I think it was just a little bit of a warm-up, just trying to get it in there, just trying to get a little rhythm going on the opening drive. But on that second throw to Guidry, it was right on the money.
Thank you, Senate President Wayne Niederhauser and the Utah Governor's Office of Economic Development for your continued support of the Utah Falcons athletes and the mission of the Women's Excellence for Life Foundation. A proud supporter here of Utah Falcons football. How about this? Utah trailing, I think, for the first time all year. They've only given up 13 points, so I would presume that this would be the first time they've trailed.
That's actually a pretty good guess, and I would say maybe even the first time in a couple years.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate, actually. Yeah, we mentioned in our open 41-1 over the last 4 years. It's been a program that has just had an unreal amount of success, been dominating in the IWFL, and now we'll see what kind of fight the Falcons have in them as they prepare for their first offensive possession.
And right now you're just looking at the Falcons coordinator for the defense, Jody Thompson, talking to his defense. Just, you really got to clean it up. You got to be able to get coverage because it looks like that they're going to be throwing the ball.
Pooch kick here. This is a live ball, and Utah able to just jump on it back on the 26-yard line. Smart there to not pick it up and risk a bobble and potentially giving great field position to San Diego.
So what I look for here, Dane, is it's a whole laundry list of players who can really get the ball up the field, but they're going to pound the ball. But now I'm really interested to see how many players San Diego is going to load into that box.
That's going to be the story. We were watching in warm-ups. We talked about it. The secondary only having 3 people, a full dedicated 8 in the box in warm-ups for San Diego. And even coming out right now, it looks like they're going to have that same type of formation, really try to slow up this potent option attack of the Utah Falcons. 14:04 left here in our opening quarter.
On this triple option, they're going to have about 5 options where they're able to go to, including the quarterback keeping it. So I'm definitely interested to see what they'll do here.
Elizabeth Lane under center. She pitches on first down, able to get around the corner, and a nice run here for Keisha Cox across the 40-yard line. We do have a penalty marker down back on the far side of the field near the line of scrimmage. This looks like it might be against San Diego. I presume the play probably stands.
Really good play for Keisha Cox. Was able to get onto the outside edge past some of the San Diego Surge corners and was able to get a good chunk play right there.
Boy, we have a couple of penalties. There was an offside. There was also a face mask. So had a penalty flag on the near side that I missed. It's just beyond the boundary, right where the official is standing. So they will decline the offside. They'll take the face mask penalty. So that run was good for about, 15, 16 yards, and then tack on the face mask penalty. And just like that, the Utah Falcons are across the 50.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. The Falcons keeping it clean and maybe forcing the defense to make some costly penalties, and that's exactly what happened there.
It's one of the real big keys when you have those David versus Goliath matchups, right? And I'm not calling San Diego a David, but what Utah has been over the last 4 years has been the Goliath. And when you play Goliath, you can't have mistakes, and a costly face mask penalty here. First down, another toss, going the other way, trying to get outside. Keisha Cox able to do it, still on her feet, out of bounds, across the 30.
Another run onto the outside. They're like, you know what, go ahead and load up the box. We're going to take it to the outside, try and beat us there, and was able to get another 10, 12 yards on that play right there. Great run, but also great blocking by some of the wide receivers for the Falcons.
Yeah, more yellow on the field, and I'm not talking about the logo at the 50. Another penalty flag came in late, a personal foul on San Diego, a late hit that you might have caught on the screen right near the end of the run, but again, more free yards just given to Utah.
And just think about it, Dane. They're getting more and more up the field, where they're getting about the same amount of yards just in penalties as they are on the actual play.
I mean, here's the thing: if you take those penalties off, they're at midfield right now.
Exactly.
I mean, you've given them 30 yards, and they're
Instead,
inside the
you're
red
already
zone.
into the red zone, yeah, right there, 15-yard line.
First and 10. Motion. Great little trap here up the middle, and that is Tina Tella able to pick up a good 8 yards on the carry.
So on those runs, they were going to the edge out on the outside. Lane pitched it, or fake pitched it to Keisha Cox, went in the inside, was able to get San Diego to jumble a little bit there.
They'll hurry up here for second down and a long 3, and kept that time by Lane as she picks up a yard, maybe 2. Most successful defensive play for San Diego here on this opening drive for Utah. It'll be third down and 2. Option, toss to Cox. Cox inside the 5. Touchdown, Utah.
Just able to power it in, exactly what she's been doing all year long, and picks up her 5th touchdown on the year, which ties for the lead, or ties for the team high, and just a great power run. But something that a lot of people might have missed, Elizabeth Lane got blasted just as she got rid of the ball. Really good read there, but Lane obviously taking a shot.
Man, it is not easy to be a quarterback in an option offense. You got to be willing to sacrifice. And Lane, you mentioned it, got hit, got popped real hard. She gave the official a look like, hey, that was to the helmet. There was no penalty called on it. It does go for the touchdown. An opportunity here for Utah to take the lead as the point after try kick is up. It is good. It is 7-6. The Utah Falcons have the lead here. 12:47 remaining in our opening quarter.
So now we're going to see how they counter. See if the Falcons can get a stop on defense as they come out for this drive, because obviously it only took 4 plays for San Diego to get into the end zone.
The penalty certainly costly on that drive. Famous Dave's is your Utah Falcons 5th quarter sponsor. We invite the entire Falcons family, friends, and fans to eat with us after the game. Famous Dave's has received over 700 awards for their delicious barbecue styles, flavors, smokes, and sauces. Located 1 mile directly south on 13th East in Fort Union. Come enjoy the bold to the bone barbecue today or any day. Our thanks to Famous Dave's for sponsoring Utah Falcons football.
She is an tremendous athlete, and we are so lucky to have her on the Falcons.
An interesting matchup. We talked about these two teams, the only undefeated teams left in the Pacific Division. A lot riding on this game. Is maybe some of that emotion and some of that preparation or mentality coming in, maybe the pressure. You think that affects San Diego coming into this and some of those early penalties?
Really, I think of what San Diego did was just they didn't have anything to lose. They looked at it. They're on the road playing against a powerhouse in this league and just trying to come out and just punch them in the mouth, and they did that. But then on defense, some of the costly penalties, I think that they just wanted to send a message but maybe it was too much of one.
Yeah. We'll have to see if they can settle that down emotionally. As this kickoff, very similar to the first, it will not be Guidry. This taken by one of the up backs. Boy, a lot of lane right up the middle. Big hole still on the feet and brought down to the 49-yard line. Might have been Sonfree Roberson with the return there for San Diego as they will start just shy of the 50.
Something else to think about, Dane, is that the Falcons are now in what was in a different spot. Now they were trailing for the first time in probably a long time. We're going to have to find out when was the last time they actually trailed in a game. And you're not really used to that, so you got to change the mindset and say, okay, we've actually got a football game. Because some of these players, after you're dominating for so long, it kind of just gets eased into the brain.
First down for San Diego. Motion again coming across the formation. Pump fake, screen play set up over the middle. How about this? Give it to one of the linemen, as that was Jessica Cable on the reception as the screen goes for a pickup of 3 yards. As San Diego able to cross the 50.
Obviously, a body like that, it's going to be hard to take down up top, so where do you go? Right to the legs.
Great sells as well. They had the motion coming across, the pump fake to the outside, open up the inside. Nice play design there by San Diego. You know, we talk about Utah trailing for the first time in a long time. I would imagine that'd be one of the longer touchdowns they've given up as well, a 54-yard strike.
Yeah, definitely, especially when it only took about 4 plays.
Right. Second down and 7 here. Again, motion, Gallegos. Gonna hand it off on the sweep. Good pursuit by Utah. Boy, able to break the tackle, and a fortunate play there by Lanica Manning. Looked like she was gonna be brought down for a loss, able to get out of it and get back to the line of scrimmage.
But really, a really good job there for the Falcons defense, as you didn't just have to fall on one player to try and take her down. Luckily, they had 3 or 4 other players there to help out.
And was that Tina Tella who burst through the line of scrimmage and was able to put the pressure on in the backfield?
Yeah, Tina Tella, she's definitely a player to look forward to on both sides of the ball. She can power run, but she can tackle too.
It'll bring up another third down. Second of the game here for San Diego. Have to get across the 41-yard line. Motion by Quijano. They will go out on the sweep. Quijano trying to get around. Won't do it. Tina Tella there to make the stop. It's fourth down.
Talking about how San Diego should have ran the ball. Well, now they're doing it a lot. They're trying to go out on the edge, what the Falcons have been doing too. Haven't had a lot of luck getting out on the edge, but the Falcons are right there every step of the way. And it looks like that we have a Falcon down.
Yeah, I have a Falcon that went down. They were pretty quick to rush out there. Is going to take a look here, and we certainly hope that she's okay. We'll try to get I was going to say we'll try to get a number for you, but it would get up quickly, and a good sign there. Is that 35, Danielle Music?
Danielle Music is up and walking off the field under
Playing linebacker for the Falcons. She's one of those players who just sticks to one side of the ball, playing just defense.
Good to see Music able to walk off under her own power. She was lying down there face into the turf, and I think it looked very good. Fourth down and 5 here for San Diego. They're going to go for it. When you're playing the defending national champ, why not? Going out. Penalty flag is down on the play. That ball overthrown. The intended target was once again Jessica Cable, but there is a flag down at about the 43, and this might be a defensive holding.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking about too, trying not to let the wide receivers get a really good jump on the edge and trying to beat them off the line, and you get a little handsy, they will call it.
And he might have actually called a personal foul. I didn't see the holding mark, saw the wrist come together, so it might have been a personal foul rather than a hold, and it will be a
That's
big
costly.
penalty.
Yep, personal foul.
So 15 yards. We talked about the penalties hurting San Diego defensively. A huge penalty there on fourth down on Utah. And it will be a first down for San Diego.
It's something, especially when you're playing a team like this where you don't have a lot of an idea of who they are because of their first year in the league. You're going to have things like that to where it comes up, but you've got to keep it clean.
So the ball spotted at the 31-yard line here for the Surge. I think it's Gutierrez in the backfield alongside Gallegos. Gallegos looking to throw Over the middle, that ball caught. It's Cable with the reception. Still on her feet inside the 10. Cable to the 5 and brought down to the 4. A big pickup on first down for San Diego.
That was a zip by Gallegos. Threw it around 3 Falcons. Was able to catch it, Cable was, and it took about 3 Falcons to take her down.
Boy, and I have to apologize. That screenplay to Cable earlier, I said throw it to one of your bigs. Cable's been their leading receiver in this game so far. Great hands.
Definitely a tight end body.
Right. Well, boy, you can see able to break those tackles, and a force today for the Surges. Now they have first and goal. Motion again. Blocks out in front, turn inside, touchdown, San Diego. It's Deanna Guidry with her second touchdown of the day. This one on the ground, and the Surge retake the lead.
Power sweep to the right side, went in untouched. Not something that the Falcons wanted to see there. And probably something that is going to be addressed there by their defense coordinator, Joey Thompson. You've got to be able to get stops if you're going to beat a team like San Diego. Right now, they're coming out just showing that they have nothing to lose.
We haven't even played 5 minutes, and we have 3 touchdowns on the board.
It's definitely what you want to see.
Point after try for San Diego. That snap a little behind and forces them in a fire situation. Going nowhere again. 2-point conversion fails, and it is 12-7, the lead for San Diego.
Second fake per se, but really it's just the snap over the top. You're really not able to have time to get the ball down for a kick. So you have to settle for that, and obviously the Falcons well prepared for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that one was a called 2-point conversion, but ended up having to be that attempt anyway. The Union Tavern Bar and Grill. Check them out in Midville, just a few miles from the field on 7200 South, 900 East. Positive reviews all across the board. The Union is an awesome place to play in dart tournaments and hang with friends. Plus, there are always random events and karaoke. The owners, Bill and Justin, are just great guys. Definitely the best place for a night out in Utah. The Union Tavern Bar and Grill, a proud sponsor of Utah Falcons football. All right. Defense, we mentioned the 2 top defenses in the league, but it's been optional today. The offense is having all the success here early in the first quarter.
Yeah, and even with some costly penalties, they're able to get up the field. And a lot of that is by the defense on both sides for San Diego and Utah, just not keeping it clean. And you've got to keep it clean if you're going to have any chance to get stops. You cannot allow any yardage that isn't earned by the offense to try and get it up the field.
But I'll tell you this has got to be fun for the players. We mentioned going 41-1. I mean, there's not a lot of fun in that, right? Hey, we're in a competitive game right now, and that's got to be a fun experience here for the Falcons.
Now all it's about how the Falcons can answer on the offensive end. Kickoff,
this one handled by Galicia, near side, getting up across the 30, brought down to the 33-yard line. And that was Gallica. Trevor, thanks for the fix there.
You got it. I was also corrected on that, too.
I think I messed that up last year when I talked about old number 10 for Utah.
Meetings with PR are definitely beneficial, and sometimes there's a lot of players that it's hard to pronounce, and you lose them sometimes.
Yeah. Second drive of the game here for Utah, and well, gosh, I'm going to feel pretty confident saying maybe the first time they've trailed twice in the same game.
I mean, that's a very good guess. I would say that,
San Diego's been phenomenal on offense. Let's see what Utah has here on their second drive. Going to throw. Looking deep. Just a couple yards out in front of the intended receiver. That was looking for Lexi Floor.
Lexi's one of those number 1 wideouts for the Falcons. She had a really good game against Seattle in their last home game in April. She's got a lot of speed, but it looks like Lane maybe had overestimated how much speed that she had.
Their leading receiver, she's accounted for half their yards this year. When you only have 3 in the secondary, you're going to play off, and that's what San Diego did. Second down toss as a penalty flag in on the play right near the line of scrimmage. I presume this is holding.
Battle in the trenches.
And it is. This one going to come back. Better pursuit there by San Diego as well. That first drive for Utah, we saw a couple times getting on the outside, opening up the interior. That time San Diego able to swarm and limit what would have been a gain had there not been a penalty. But going to come back here due to the holding on the interior.
Something I still like from the Falcons is that they're not afraid to run the ball despite how many players San Diego has in that box.
It's going to set up a second and 21 here. Costly penalty.
And you can't keep adding those up, otherwise it's going to be a very lopsided game.
This thrown out into the flat and over the head of Keisha Cox, incomplete. It'll bring up a third down.
You have got to convert here, Dane. There's no way that you can come off the field and go 3 and out and have that be because of a costly penalty and give San Diego any chance to put 2 straight scores on the board.
Boy, for Utah, really unfortunate they missed on that. Had a lot of room out in front of her if that ball was able to be completed. Third down, they'll go to the air, and a miscommunication that behind the intended target. It'll bring up a 4th down here for the Falcons.
Short little in route there, just didn't work. She got there a little bit quicker than what the quarterback anticipated, Elizabeth Lane, and she doesn't throw the ball that much, but when you do, you've got to be on the money.
Yeah. Inaccuracy on the second down, the third down, and it'll lead to Utah looking to punt. Forget the punt. Let's try the fake, the toss, and this is going to be stopped. Didn't get to the 30, pushed out of bounds around the 28-yard line. Certainly not enough for the first down. That's where San Diego will come out on offense.
I don't know if that was a great idea because you're pinned back pretty far. Now San Diego has about, 32 yards to go, 30 yards to go?
It's going to be less than that, 28.
Yeah, 28 yards to go. You can't do that deep there. You got to boot the ball away.
You know, I know it's a little bit of a different game. There's a high school coach in Arkansas who would disagree with you. You've heard of this, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, the never punt and always onside. Don't know if that was called or not. We don't have that luxury. But
in their last home game against Seattle, they Falcons never punted.
Yeah.
Seattle punted a bunch and wasn't able to get anything out of it, but obviously that's not something you want to do this deep into your own territory.
Well, defense certainly going to have to stand up here. 9:25 left opening quarter. 1st and 10. Play clock inside of 5. Got to hurry here. And I think they might take a timeout or the delay. It will be a delay game penalty. Electing not to take a timeout there.
I would have taken the timeout, especially because you're in really good field. You're in the Falcons' territory. Why not call a timeout and try and salvage those yards? Because it could come up big, especially if it goes to 3rd down.
Apparently they have that much confidence in their offense, huh?
Well, right now they're looking really good right now.
It does. 1st and 15 after the penalty. Motion by Clark. And they will give it back to Clark. All the blocking set up. Clark up the sideline, turns in, takes it to about the 23-yard line. Nice carry there for Casey Clark for the Surge.
Not a whole lot of need to break tackles for Clark because some great blocking by the wide receivers and some of the tackles on the offensive line was able to get a really good push for Clark.
Boy, so helpful when you have wide receivers that can block effectively. And San Diego that time, that bunch to the top, did just that. Nice pickup on 1st and 15.
Something that the Falcons should really look for here. They got to get a turnover. They've got to force something.
2nd and short. Again, Clark in motion. Little fake. Going to throw this one. Intercepted. You called it. They don't call him the best play-by-play in the business for nothing, folks. Trevor was all over that. The interception made Utah all over the play defensively.
All I know is that it was much needed, but now what you got to do, Dane, you've got to punch the ball in. If you're the Falcons, you've got to put your stamp on this game.
Yeah, you can't give another empty possession right now in this ballgame if you're Utah. I couldn't see the number on who picked it off. Did you see it?
I didn't. I'm in a little bit of a tinted window in my spot right here. We'll have to go back and check that. But either way, it was one of those, it was a very short throw, and it's one of those where you don't have a lot of time to gather it.
It might have been Jordan Willis.
I wouldn't put it past her.
I'm not positive. It might have been. But, boy, if it was, a huge play made. First down for Utah. They start on their own 22. Good blocking. There's the pitch. Keisha Cox has some yards in front of her and forced out of bounds at the 40. A good run there, picking up 18 yards for Cox.
V in their number 5, Veronica Siqueiros, she had a great block. Didn't get to the point where it was holding because the minute that Keisha Cox got around the edge, she was able to let go and then ended up going into that second level. Great block there.
Really helped to spring for that big gain. On first down. And penalty markers coming in here.
False start.
Yep.
It happens sometimes when you're on that triple option.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of moving pieces, and you've got to make sure they're all set before.
Timing based, right? Whenever
That's
you have
all
that
it is.
motion. Yep.
Timing and being able to sell all those fakes.
Now, the fortunate thing here is that happens on first down. It's only 5 yards. I mean, the penalty really stalled the drive last time, but it was a 15-yarder. I mean, it was a hurtful penalty. This one, certainly a manageable situation.
You really can't have any of those 10 to 15-yard penalties on second or third down. You just can't afford that.
It'll be 1st and 15 for the Falcons. Trailing here, 12-7. Almost a little bit of a deceptive handoff. Keisha Cox still on her feet. She lost the football. Boy, unfortunate. Utah able to jump on that up at the 44-yard line. It would have been a first down had Cox held on to it. They'll pick up a couple of extra.
San Diego was able to punch it right out of her arm, but luckily it went forward where there was 2 Falcons right there to be able to land on top of it. But something I like about Keisha Cox's game is that she's got a really good football body. She has speed, but she's also very, very careful. I like to compare her to Bell for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Because she takes her time, but whenever she finds that hole, she's gonna try and attack that gap.
And guess what? There was a penalty on the play. We're coming back. So a big gain, a big opportunity for Utah, and
It
a
looks like it was a
self-inflicted
5-yard
error.
penalty. Or
Well,
was that
the flag
15?
was at the 40, so I think it was a holding
Okay.
at the 40 that took it back to the 20. So it will be 1st and 20 here for Utah.
1st and 20.
Again, a trap here in San Diego, all over that. The interior, we watched it in the pregame. They were really trying to collapse down around the football, and that time it worked really well.
Normally you'd have your regular pregame warm-ups. No, coaches were saying, this is what we're going to do on defense. We're
Yeah.
going to load up the box, and we're going to really try and tackle that middle to where they don't have any options to go.
And I haven't seen a San Diego warm-up before, but knowing about the Utah Falcons offense, it looked like a pretty specific warm-up
It
to
was
me.
very specific. And normally you try not to do that,
Yeah.
but they wanted to send a message.
2nd and 21. Again, nowhere to go. What a tackle made by Guidry coming up and almost clotheslining the back.
With the carry.
That one leaves me speechless, Dane, because really nothing there. Went in there without being touched, and right there had nowhere to go. Didn't even have a chance.
Well, you have another look at the replay. Look at that, a missed block and a fantastic job. Woo, what a play
You've
by
got to
Guidry.
you got to keep everyone intact on your blocking assignments. You can't have a player like that free roaming because someone not only can get blasted but can also get injured.
And so, again, we've got a drive here that may be stymied by penalties. And right now, Coach Rasmussen going to talk to his troops, try to settle them down. 6:17 left. Opening quarter of the Surge leading 12-7. Mission belts are the no-holes belt you love is now offered for women. Use promo code FALCONS10, that's Falcons with a Z, for Falcons fans to get discounts on their beautiful belt collections.
National championship and 2 other national championship appearances. This is one of the best football teams in the country. We're very lucky.
Also, eye signs and awnings, a sponsor of Utah Falcons football. We've got your front. Burt Brothers, use code UT Falcons and get discounts on all of your car services at any Burt Brothers locations. That's code Utah Falcons. Tires, engines, brakes, oil change. We take care of you and all of your vehicle needs.
If I'm the Falcons coaching staff right now, I'm just saying keep your assignments. You're still in this game, but you've just got to make sure everyone is doing their job. You're doing your 111th, as Kyle Whittingham would say.
Utah has to get across the 50. They're going to try in the air. That ball overthrown. The intended target was Lexi Floor. Incomplete, and it will bring up another 4th and long.
The only way that had a chance to be a first down is if it was thrown with a little less juice. But she, Lexi, she was able to beat that cornerback right off the edge, right off the line.
That was Roberson in coverage for the Surge. Personnel late coming on here for Utah. Fourth down, again, Utah showing the punt, but not necessarily indicative they will. This one angled. It will be caught right around the 37-yard line.
It's better than pinning them back at setting up San Diego on the 20.
Yeah, maybe a difference of 10, 15 yards,
You'd
right?
rather have that, but obviously it didn't have a very favorable bounce.
So once again, the Surge will come out here on offense with an opportunity to take a 2-possession lead. Remember the last time they had that, and the interception it gave the ball away. Can San Diego execute a little cleaner on this possession? They will start again inside Utah Falcon territory.
Still plenty of time, but you've got to make sure that you're very sound on defense if you're the Falcons right now.
3 receivers to the top. They're going to go on the ground. Up the middle, not a lot of room to run. Crystal Bridges with the carry there for San Diego. We've talked a lot about the San Diego defense, but this Utah defense very, very good, and showing right there one of the big reasons why stopping the run.
And definitely stopping the run directly up the middle. They're not allowing any gaps in which the offensive line is trying to create.
We talked about the size of San Diego. Utah certainly has capable players up front. The defensive line has been stout for Utah on the interior. We're 2nd and 10 here, and we've got a penalty flag thrown in.
Someone might have flinched. Yep. All it takes is a flinch, Dane.
Yeah, once you get down and set, you gotta hold true. Can't move, and you mentioned that flinch, doing enough, and nice job right there, catching that. And
I would not be a very good player on the offensive line.
Right? Me either.
The minute you flinched, so you have an itch? Yeah, doesn't happen.
2nd and 15. Gallegos looking to throw. This ball high, caught. What a catch made in the air by Melanie Quijano. The coverage on the play was Myra Alcala.
Myra, she knew that she was probably going to catch it, but she didn't want her to get any yards. But for the wide out there for San Diego, she knew Myra was coming. She's like, I just got to catch it. That's all I've got to do.
That's a great job by Quijano, able to hold on to that because she took the pads right in the side and able to keep hold of the football to bring up a 3rd down and about 6 yards to go.
Something else is that it's really hard to hold on to that, especially when you're getting contact, and you've got to keep the ball throughout as you come down, because she was up there pretty good, high up in the air.
Bridges is the back. Quijano across the formation. There's the throw out to Quijano, trying to get blocks. Coming over on the play and making the tackle for Utah's Lindy Prescott.
There was not enough Surge players there to help on that screen. You have one player blocking. It's not going to do any good, especially when you have 3 Falcons coming right at you.
Boy, and Prescott, one of the players, she tore her ACL last year for the 2nd time. She coached or helped coach to finish out the season. She's returned this year, but, I mean, you see a play like that, and you see kind of that cerebral aspect of the game, the way she views it really coming in and helping her to finish on that play.
Yeah, her and Jordan Willis are really one of the leaders on this Falcons defense, really trying to set that example, trying to get them to press and be really aggressive on the ball.
Timeout taken here by San Diego, 3:38 left here in the first. Blackley and Wingad, attorneys specializing in criminal defense and family law, fighting for you in criminal and family court. Call 801-948-8044 or visit www.wingad.com. www.blackleyWingad.com. That's Blackley, Blackley, and Wingad. Also, Stephen Henniger College, a proud sponsor of Utah Falcons football. Our teachers will help you with your education every step of the way. We provide all textbooks, supplies, and equipment at no additional charge. Consider Stevens Henniger College. Fourth down and 3 yards to go for San Diego. A big play here for this Utah Falcon defense. On the ground, trying to get around the edge, across the 30, and I think they got it. Had to get to the 28-yard line. This one spotted at the 27. It's a first down.
You had a really good chance there to stall another drive for San Diego if you're the Falcons to try and set up a chance to get back into this ball game and able to take the lead. Just came up 1 yard short.
You saw in that replay the back just stretching the ball ahead as much as she could, knowing how close that was going to be, and got it by a full yard. The drive continues here for the Surge. Gallegos on first down. Looking to the left side, over the middle. Boy, great throw. Right in between a couple of Falcons, and a big catch being made inside the red zone for San Diego.
Gallegos had 2 options there, went to the one on the right, and both of them were open, but was able to get a pretty good catch right there. No one really around until the end.
You see that time, I think Prescott was trying to play the underneath receiver and just threw right behind her. Very small window. We talk about the IWFL. I haven't seen a lot of teams that have had the ability to throw the ball as well as Gallegos has done so today.
Gallegos has shown why she is the quarterback for this team and why they've done so well, really putting a lot of pressure on the Falcons defense, because normally, especially for Lindy Prescott, she was right there. But then you're forced to pick 2 people. Gallegos picked it.
First down to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. San Diego through double coverage. It don't matter. A 14-yard touchdown pass from Gallegos, and the Storm taking a 2-possession lead. Casey Clark with the reception.
Clark trying to put her stamp on this game, and has done just that. Was able to get into the end zone with ease. I mean, only had to go through 2, but she did it with ease. And now a lot of pressure on this Falcons team, down 2 scores.
And if you're San Diego here, you just go for 2, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're not losing anything right there. If anything, you go up by 13, but still it's 2 scores. It's just a matter of do the Falcons need 2 touchdowns or what?
Motion by Guidry to throw, and that ball too tall for its intended target.
And also 2 covered.
Incomplete.
2 Falcons on that play. Really good coverage there in the secondary.
18-7, your score. 2 minutes left here. San Diego on top.
I want to thank the CIA for sponsoring San Diego. That's why we do not have any ability to see their numbers. They're super secret. Once again, the CIA sponsoring San Diego. They also didn't send us a roster either, so secrecy, they're synonymous there.
(18-7), the advantage for San Diego. And when you talk about football, so much about field position, and the Surge have had the advantage on every drive when it comes to field position.
Yeah, they've really been able to get really close to the end zone, and a lot of it has been just moving the ball up the field through the air, which is something that we haven't really seen much in this league. But Gallegos is the real deal.
This ball sent deep. Received at the 10. Nice blocking near side across the 35 as that return by Iono. Pickup of 25 on the return, and Utah will come out starting at their own 35-yard line.
Tasha Iono, graduate of BYU Hawaii, also played college soccer. You really couldn't tell there on that play.
Yeah, football, right? Like there's some similarity there, huh?
She can take contact, I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
And she is not afraid to take the contact, as she was able to get tackled and wrapped up by a couple of surge players. But really right now you've got to answer. You've got to score here to close out the quarter.
Biggest thing might be giving your defense some time to rest and to game plan. First down and a broken play. There's the pitch. Look at this. That play was busted from the start and turned a bust into a gain. A fantastic job there by Siqueiros. Able to take this up to the 49-yard line, a gain of 14.
And I'm going from busted to a first down. You don't see that very often in football, but, you know, of what you're trying to do is trying to turn nothing into something and just trying to get a couple of good blocks in there, and that's really what it's come down to. Whenever the Falcons get some really good blocks, they've been able to drive up the field.
Man, I didn't play quarterback, but I can't imagine a more frightening scenario. Go to hand it off and no one's there.
Well, not only that, Lane, she got blasted again.
She did. She's taken a lot of hits today, whereas on the turf again here after the handoff is able to pick up 2 yards was Tina Tella.
It's only going to make you tougher.
Or wear you down. And, you know, I mean, that's one of the things when you talk about this game, the quarterback position, so important. And when she takes hit after hit, play after play, does that come back to wear down the experienced signal caller for Utah?
It definitely will as soon as you hit into the fourth quarter.
Option. This ball kept. Now's the pitch. And a nice job again by Ware reading that play, waiting until the absolute last minute to give it to Keisha Cox.
Lane went as far as she could and said, okay, we could get maybe 2 or 3 more yards by handing it off to Keisha, and she did just that.
So many times you see option quarterbacks, and they tuck that as soon as they cross the line of scrimmage. That time Ware keeping the ball in a pitch position and then able to get it out, even though she's up the field, and it leads to the first down.
And it's also very, very risky doing that on the last minute, too, because you're trying to hurry that in there. And then you really don't have time.
No, you're correct. A lot of coaches, they teach quarterbacks to do that for that very reason. Another timeout taken here. Utah Falcons trying to answer, trailing 18-7.
Few notes about Rick Rasmussen, our head coach. He is a former Air Force fighter pilot. They're the best, the smartest, and the bravest. And he also was in the FBI and in the past a long-time high school coach. Rick Rasmussen, one of the best coaches in the country, and the Falcons are very lucky to have him.
That timeout was taken by San Diego. They only have one remaining. 32 seconds left here. First quarter.
Crowd trying to get back into this, trying to get the team back in. And right now they're driving up the field, but you can't have any costly penalties, so keep it clean.
It's been the story of the game for Utah. The penalties have really hurt them. They come inside, and that run by Siqueiros able to pick up about 4 yards.
Something to keep in mind, Dane, as you and I were talking about, you know, all the hits that Elizabeth Lane's been taking, some wear and tear. It's going to help, though, because she has a lot of help around her to carry that load.
Yeah, certainly. She certainly has a plethora of running backs to utilize, and it's been one of the reasons why this Utah offense has been so good for a number of years here under Coach Rick Rasmussen. On second down. Going to throw, and that just a bit too quick on the hands of Cox, unable to reel that one in.
She really, of what I'm guessing off that play, she just felt rushed because she knew she had a golden opportunity. You probably get about 7-8 yards off of that play, depending on whether or not the surge would be able to wrap up, but just felt rushed, it looked like, on that throw.
And with that, the first quarter comes to an official close. The San Diego Surge, we didn't know much about them coming in other than they were good. They're really good. They lead 18-7 over Utah after one.
Economic Development. Thank you for your continued support for the Utah Falconz athletes and the mission of Women's Excellence for Life Foundation. Stephen Henniger College. Stephen Henniger does a great job. They'll take care of really helping you through that program, and there's nothing better than an education during this economy from Stephen Henniger College. Famous Dave's, directly a mile south on 1300 East in Fort Union, and the Union Tavern Bar and Grill. Thank you to all our great sponsors.
Start of the second quarter. It's a third down for Utah. The toss. San Diego, pressure in the backfield. And Cox able to get out of bounds, but it's a loss on the play as she ate 3 yards on the carry. It's a loss. It'll be 3rd and 8.
So I just found out, Dane, that the last time the Falcons trailed the game was in the fourth quarter of the game they lost in the national championship game 3 years ago, excuse me. So their one loss when we were talking about 41-1.
Yeah.
That's the last time that they trailed. That's incredible.
It's going to be a new experience, huh?
I mean, it's something that the coaching staff can use on that bulletin board when they head to the locker room.
4th down and 10. Utah looking to go for it, given the field position. I don't blame them. They got to get to the 29. Going up the sideline. Ball is incomplete. Overthrown was intended for Caitlin Rafe. And it was Roberson there on the coverage again. But so far, Elizabeth Lane hasn't been able to find that right touch in the passing game.
Because they don't throw the ball that much. I mean, you come into this game, Elizabeth Lane threw the ball 38 times in 4 games. That's not a lot of throwing.
Yeah.
And so it's really something foreign to her right now. I mean, I'm sure the reason why she's a quarterback is because she can throw the ball, but it's not something that you're used to in this system.
I also wonder if some of the pressure is starting to get it in her head a little bit, maybe making her feel like she's got to get rid of it quicker, rushing the throw a little bit. I mean, just a guess.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that that's a good guess, but this is also her first year being the full-time starter for the Falcons.
Right. No, that's a great point. Great point. 1st and 10 for San Diego. Gallegos will hand off here. Sweep. Nowhere to go. Fantastic job coming up from the secondary. Is that Susan Whittison? Trying to get a number there. It was not. It might have been Michaela Minnix coming up to make the play.
Really, it was just a whole swarm of Falcons going after their prey, and the San Diego Surge was able to get there into the backfield for a loss. You've got to keep the momentum going. And something that I just noticed, Dane, while we were waiting for that play to happen, one of the coaches walked up to Bean, who's the backup quarterback, and tapped her on the helmet. It looked like maybe she might get a go.
You know, I was going to bring that up on the next drive, actually. There's an interesting story there. We'll touch on that in a little bit. 2nd and 16. Gallegos looking to throw, has a man open. Ball's caught at the 40, and then it's loose. Is that a catch and a fumble? If it is, it's Utah football.
She made a football play. She at least ran twice. The ball then came loose. We might have to go back to the replay on this, but they're calling it Falcons football.
Another San Diego turnover. And a fantastic job by Utah. Another look at it. Yeah, she has that for a good 5 yards.
Yep. 2, 3, maybe even 4 steps. And that went along the sideline right there, very close to being out of bounds. And Falcons wouldn't be able to get the ball if that wasn't the case. Fortunate for that, but now something I've been preaching this entire broadcast, Dane, you've got to capitalize.
Might have been press guard on the coverage. It was hard to see the number there. Might have been 21. Not the first time we've called her name. As now the Utah offense coming out. And I'm trying to see who the quarterback is. I think it is Lane. Is that ball caught at the 38-yard line? Reception by Lexi Floor. It is Luis Bean. Bean is in at quarterback here for Utah, trying to get this offense going.
Long-time starter. She was the 2017 IWFL Championship Game MVP.
She tosses this ball. A lot of room here. Up the sideline. Keisha Cox. No doubt, no flags. Touchdown, Utah.
62 yards untouched, Dane. What a run by Keisha Cox. She is keeping the Falcons in this ball game. That is exactly what you needed to try and start your comeback.
Boy,
and she did just that.
How about the play made by Bean? Looked like she was in trouble and was able to throw that back to Cox. Fantastic job weaving through traffic. And Keisha Cox pulls Utah back to within one possession here. 12:50 left in the first half. It's 18-13.
Some of the things I end up taking away from that, it's just great blocking, but also great running. Keisha Cox taking every bit of advantage from those great blocks.
And it's the backup quarterback, Luis Bean, who in 2 plays gets Utah in the end zone. She's going to line up here for the 2-point conversion, rolling to her left. Turns upfield. Bean trying to get, boy, her knee might have come down before the ball crossed. I think the linesman coming in there saying no good. The 2-point conversion, no good.
She had a little bit of a gap, but then just did not attack it early enough and just tried to get in there. And there was one hit that came in that really made it not turn into a 2-point conversion. But Dane, something that I'll allude to just as the Falcons are coming out on for kickoff. I was listening to the defensive coordinator Joey Thompson talk to his defense right after that turnover. He wasn't happy, even though you end up getting that turnover. Something to keep in mind, something that he said, and I'll tell you what I can say, broadcast friendly.
Right.
He said, run the things we call. Because it sounded like that they were not running defenses, their sets in which what the coaches have called. And really, that is not good if you're a coach, if you're telling them to run the things that you call.
It's so hard if you're able to watch film or you scout a team a little bit, you think that you might know, right? And sometimes that actually opens up holes within the defense. And San Diego, they've had a lot of success offensively. It'll be interesting to see how the defense here comes out for Utah. They forced 2 turnovers in this game, able to capitalize off of that one thanks to Luis Bean and her play.
Something else to talk about is that these 2 top defenses, we were talking about how there wasn't a big presence. There is now.
Yeah.
And it isn't just getting stops. They are forcing turnovers, and they are getting turnovers.
Outside of the turnovers, the Utah defense has struggled to stop San Diego. This ball pooched near side. San Diego going to pick it up to the 40. That'll be about it on the return from Quijano. Andrea Chilton in on the tackle for Utah.
Something to keep out here for San Diego is that you've just got to take care of the football. You've got to keep it in your arms whenever you're going up the sideline because you never know who could come and pop it right out.
I was going to say the same thing. If you're San Diego, you're disappointed there's a 1-possession game, but you got to be encouraged by the fact that, hey, guys, they haven't stopped us. We've only stopped ourselves. Stop turning the ball over, and this thing could be almost out of distance for Utah.
Well, and also thinking about those 2 turnovers in which they gave up, both of them were getting some really good plays upfield, and were getting really good strides into the end zone.
Gallegos on first down, throwing quickly behind the coverage. It's Guidry again. Boy, almost able to keep her feet. She's frustrated that she got upended. She takes this to the 35.
Gallegos had to throw that last second, maybe hold on to it another half of a second. She would have gotten sacked, or maybe even the ball would have popped out. Just a great throw, and was able to get it right on the money. I'm telling you, Gallegos is a legit quarterback in this league.
I've been really surprised at how frequently the Utah secondary has been beat. Every play, it feels like some of these targets for San Diego are beating the corners 5-10 yards.
It's not really something the Falcons are used to because a lot of the teams they're facing are running the football.
Gallegos again looking for Guidry. And a good play made defensively there on the outside by Floor to break that up.
Floor might have gotten away with a little bit of a holding there. It looked like she had a little bit of that jersey. Probably not enough to call, but you've got to be very careful.
It's not a penalty if the refs don't call it, right?
Exactly.
It's that old tree in the forest.
As they always say, it's not a foul unless it's called.
Yeah. Part of that is, for me, I always say, hey, look, play to figure out what the officials are going to call and then play to that level. If they're going to let that go, get that hand in
she
there.
She also held on to the player directly around that side judge right there. So it looks like they're letting them play a little bit.
Real tight coverage here for Utah. Screen play through the hands. Incomplete. Nice pressure coming up there by Willis, able to lay the hit.
Probably Gallego should have gone a little bit lower on that because even had she caught it, she would have been stopped right there in her tracks. You want to go a little bit lower so that she can already start her stride to get upfield.
How about Jordan Willis? What an honor. The Utah Sports Commission Professional Female Athlete of the Year in 2018. What an award, huh?
She's also been nominated for Semi-Pro Football Hall of Fame.
In other words, she's pretty good.
She could play football, let's just put it that way, but really, especially for that honor for the Utah Sports Commission Professional Female Athlete, there's a lot of great female athletes in this state.
Great recognition for Jordan Willis. 3rd and 10 here for San Diego. Motion, they hand off to Guidry, trying to get around the perimeter. Tripped up. Guess who?
Just talked about her. Jordan Willis. And that's why she's getting the awards and all the recognition she's getting. She goes right out there, and on top of that, was there a penalty? Nope. They're just letting the clock run.
I think she's been the best player on the defensive side of the field today for Utah in this first half. We've called her name a half dozen times already, and typically it's been plays behind the line of scrimmage.
And she may or may not have gotten that one pick on the other end
You're
of the
right.
field. You and I were talking about that.
Yep.
I'm just going to give it to her because she's that good.
Yeah, I'm good with that too. 4th and 12.
Got to get a stop here, Dane.
They have to get to the 25-yard line. Gallegos, pressure, able to step up. Broken up. There was Myra Alcala, able to get a hand on it. It wouldn't have gone for a first down had it been completed, but the Utah defense makes a stop.
Either way, that is what the doctor ordered, and I bet you Jody Thompson's going to feel a little bit better talking to his defense when they come back to the bench.
So the interesting thing here, and I think if I'm Coach Rasmussen, I'm sticking with Louise Bean. How about this? She played last year. I covered that championship game, and everyone knew this was her last game. She was going to retire. She did retire. You mentioned they asked her to come back, be the backup, kind of help, in case of injury, but kind of help train and help teach.
Yeah, kind of. Well, it was also a cameo appearance from what I was told.
Oh, okay.
In their game against Seattle. It was a cameo appearance, but then they liked what they saw, brought her back.
Man, and good on her. A fantastic drive, the last drive. Can she march down the field and help the Falcons retake the lead? To the ground, nowhere to go.
And really something that Bean can bring is her leadership because she's been a veteran on this team for so long, played 8 years at quarterback, and she, comes in. Yeah, I mean, as they always say, once a quarterback, always a quarterback. Just coming in, if you could just make some of those throws in which Lane is still trying to improve on and try and, truck up the field a little bit, it's going to provide a big confidence boost for this team.
A loss of 3 on the play. 2nd down and 13 for Utah. They tried to sweep it outside. Here's Cisqueros up the sideline, tackled at about the 40-yard line, a pickup of 6 for the Falcons.
Getting past the original line of scrimmage, now you've got a really crucial 3rd down coming up with still 9 minutes to play, but you don't want to take more and more time to try and get back into this game. You want to try and get back into it right now as you're only down by 5.
I think with the aggressive nature in which offensive coordinator Troy Chiltron calls plays, this is definitely a 2-down situation. 3rd and 7, I would say, hey, your entire playbook is open. If you get a look you like, stretch the field, can even go something underneath, but right now I would feel like there's a lot of options for the Falcons. Looks like we're going to have a
stoppage in play here. Looks like head coach Rick Rasmussen's going to be addressed by the official.
Yeah, this was interesting because I thought one of the teams was maybe waiting to take a timeout, but the officials were kind of looking at each other, and then they took the football and came over to talk with Coach Rasmussen. So
and now he's telling his team to come over here. Let's go ahead and talk.
And now they're going to go and have a chat with the San Diego staff. And I'm not sure if they were playing with maybe a football in question. Typically in this game, the possessing team plays with their football, so this might be a case of playing with a San Diego ball, or it might be a case of a ball that isn't approved, or, have no idea what's going on here, but I don't ever recall. I've done a lot of football. I don't ever recall seeing something like this. Did you see the Patriots? Are they here? Bill Belichick anywhere?
Tom Brady in the house?
Anywhere?
I don't know.
I'm not a Patriots fan, but that was a little low.
Yeah. Pun. Yeah, was that there? Pun intended.
Oh, man. So trying to figure out here what's going on there. Having the San Diego staff look at it. So my question would be the legitimacy of the football.
Yeah, and usually what it is, each of the offense has their own football. It's not like we all play with one.
Right.
You each get your own, and so, for those who are watching, who are wondering what is the big deal, you use two different types of footballs depending on what each team prefers. But it still has to be the regulated amount. So obviously the whole deflated thing is only a joke. Unless you're a Patriots fan, then yeah.
So we're going Shakespeare here. Much ado about nothing. It's 3rd down and 7 for Utah. Quick throw. That ball on the money. Floor with the reception. 1st down for Utah.
And that's what I mean. Going to Lexi Floor. I believe that's who it is.
Yep,
it is to Lexi. You're going to your number one target, and with your veteran quarterback, you've got to be able to make some of those throws. But Lane, who's standing on the sideline right now, shouldn't be down about herself. She's got a bright future ahead. It's just right now, this is a very crucial game for definitely a spot in the national championship game. You can't give that up.
Boy, Bean, that ball just flew out of her hands. So quick on the release and right on target. 1st down.
Going again.
Now going to go over the top. Floor again. Down the sideline. 10-5. Touchdown, Utah.
And that's exactly the throw, Dane, that needed to be made. Elizabeth Lane, she'll get there. She will. But Louise Bean throwing that fade right on the money, bread in the basket, untouched, touchdown, and now the Falcons have the lead for the 2nd time in this game.
Boy, and a lot of that, what's the play immediately before? You get the inside slant. Now we're going to loft the ball over the top, trying to really confuse that secondary, especially where there's only 3 back. You see the single safety with no chance at catching Lexi Floor up the sideline. A fantastic throw by Bean, a great play by Floor, and the Falcons retake the lead.
Tell you right now, though, Dane, this is a pretty crucial 2-point conversion, because if you're able to punch it in, a field goal will tie this game, but it's also going to put pressure on San Diego. And guess what? They don't have a lot of bodies on that bench.
There's the pitch. Flag in on the play. It is no good. Is the play contained? Well done here by the Surge. The penalty is on Utah, so it won't matter anyway. Our score is 19-18. The Falcons have stormed back. They lead the Surge here midway through the 2nd quarter.
19-18. 7:50 left in the 2nd quarter. Let's hear it for your Falcons.
It has been 12 unanswered points by the Utah Falcons to come back and retake the lead from the San Diego Surge. Now, what kind of surge does San Diego have here late in the first half?
And can Utah keep the momentum of getting stops and getting points on the board on both ends of the football?
The Falcons will chip this. Taken by Guidry. Right around the 21-yard line. Turns upfield. Guidry still on her feet across the 40. Boy, that ball's hanging out there. Got to be real careful.
That was hanging there, and I was surprised someone didn't punch that out.
That late in that play, I thought there was a Falcon coming in from the top. I thought she would have an ability to. But Guidry, I tell you what, she's had a fantastic game here to start for San Diego.
She seems like a really slippery wideout who could really get into the gaps and really hard to bring down, and it doesn't matter of her body type. But I would also, if I'm the San Diego coaching staff, wonder what's going on over there. They have a Falcons player going to the Surge sideline.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing. Wasn't quite sure what was
happening. That was why I was
there.
stopped in my train of thought right there. But again, alluding to my thought, if I'm San Diego's coaching staff, I'm telling Guidry, you tuck that ball in.
Yeah.
Looks like they're just having a conversation, a Surge player and a Falcons player. I believe number
Coach
82.
Rasmussen escorted her over there. So
Samantha Smith-Meek, I think she's the team president as well, so I'm wondering what's going on. I think she's doing her presidential duties.
It'll be first down for San Diego on their own 43-yard line. Gallegos looking up the field. Boy, all sorts of pressure. That ball's caught. What a catch!
Lexi Floor was swarming her, just putting her arms in there, not trying to really bat the ball down, but trying to throw off the wide receiver, and it was still caught.
Quijano with the catch of the game so far. That was unreal. Another look at this.
Yeah, she's right there, hands all over the place, and was just able to get underneath her arms to catch that ball.
2 penalty flags on the field. There's the one down the field, that on the coverage, the other one at the line of scrimmage, and an illegal man downfield and pass interference. These will offset, and we will replay first down, although right now the San Diego staff trying to discuss. He's pointing out where the flag is, saying the flag is 1 yard up the field, and the officials having to clarify that.
They're one of the best teams in the country, national championship team in the past. We're the defending national championship team.
Boy, that's a shame for Quijano, because that catch, it's now a thing that didn't ever happen.
Yeah,
but it happened. That was
doesn't
impressive.
go into the highlight reel, I'll tell you that.
Right. Well, maybe her highlight reel, right?
Well, yeah, her highlight reel.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go into the team highlight reel.
Right. It won't make any team stats, unfortunately for her. First down. Gallegos surveying again, looking over the middle. That ball too tall. Oh, boy, one that was almost served up on a platter for the safety, and San Diego fortunate to not have their third turnover of the game, though there's another penalty flag in the backfield. This one going to hurt the Falcons.
Could this be a little wear and tear for San Diego, where Gallegos has been throwing the ball a lot? You're making all your wide receivers run a lot, and you don't have a lot of personnel on the sideline to come in and give some of these starters a breather. I wonder if this is going to start catching up with them. I think it definitely will in the fourth quarter. And it looks like we might have settled the whole football fiasco over on the San Diego sideline, because Samantha Smith-Meek is back on the Falcons sideline, who's also the team president.
First down after the penalty. Again, real tight coverage here by the Falcons. Press across the board. On the ground. Boy, a big block as that carry, I thought was by number 6. I don't have a 6 on the roster. Maybe by number 8, Casey Clark for San Diego. But another look at this run, and watch the block near the top of the screen.
Music was right there, Danielle Music, and she didn't have a chance. She was blindsided by that. Obviously legal, but great block right there and was able to gain a few more yardage. But there is a flag on the play.
Another penalty on Utah that's going to cost yardage. And if you recall, I mean, back in that first quarter, a lot of the San Diego drives had some assistance, Falcons penalties that gave short fields. Utah doing it here again here late in the second quarter.
Seems like you're just going back to square one, but obviously you do have the lead, a 1-point lead, but you can't keep on giving up all these penalties, especially on defense. It's going to wear you out in the long run.
Officials still discussing here the enforcement of the penalty.
And they're bringing all but one official in to meet. And San Diego coaching as well, and he doesn't look happy. As you can tell, he's up.
Going to wave it off.
Yeah, they're waving off the flag.
That would be the
frustration
right there, huh?
Yeah, because he wanted some more yardage.
Right.
And whenever you have that, it's like dangling the carrot, you know? And then they take it away.
So it will be a 2nd down and 2 here for the Surge. 6:09 left here in our first half. Gallegos going deep, and that ball incomplete. A tough throw, good coverage on the play. Not much of an opportunity for the receiver.
A very good coverage from the cornerback on that play as it just comes over the top. Got her hands in there just in time to break it up. Really good play there.
I made a comment on a previous Utah Falcon drive on a 3rd and 7. It was 2-down territory. I'm pretty certain this is 2-down territory for San Diego, too. Not a lot of punting in the women's football game. And so, again, an opportunity where you've got a lot of different play call options here for San Diego.
But it might be time to open up a trickeration play here. Dane, you got to do that to keep the Falcons on their toes, especially when they're in this mode right now where they're getting a lot of penalties.
You thinking the annexation of Puerto Rico?
Potentially.
And we've got
and another flag.
Flags. This is going to be delay.
That's a lot of laundry today, Dane.
We've had a lot of penalties. That one costly for San Diego. They have the 1 timeout left. They elected not to take it, and if you recall, they also had a similar situation back in the first quarter.
Well, obviously you don't want to use your last timeout now, but you also use timeouts. I mean, when they use their 2 timeouts, it wasn't to stop a delay a game. They've just been taking them.
I mean, for me, I'm looking at 3rd and 2 versus 3rd and 7. I'd be tempted to take that one, but that's why I'm up here and not on the field. 3rd down and 7.
I think that's why both of us are up here.
Yeah. Gallegos going to hand off on the carry. Bridges. Good pursuit by Utah. They'll give up a couple yards, but she'll only get to the 37.
Falcons swarming again. 3 players on that play, led by Iono and Tina Tella. Now this is a big down coming up. Let's see if the Falcons can keep a stop. But San Diego's got to build some confidence, because right now they haven't really been getting a lot going. Gallegos has been struggling as of late.
Under 4.5 minutes to play here in the first half. The Falcons with the lead. They've struck quickly on the last 2 drives. This is a big 4th down for San Diego. They have to get to the 32.
And they're going to call timeout.
Timeout taken by Utah. I want to get this one right.
Falcons defensive coordinator Jody Thompson wanted to have a chat with his defense on this 4th down. That's crucial.
The Union Tavern Bar and Grill. Check them out in Midvale, just a few miles from the field on 7200 South, 900 East. We mentioned a lot of positive reviews. You can go VIP there. A wonderful option. It's a great atmosphere, great people, fabulous food. Bands, great. Good variation in ages, 21 to 70. Great people. Check out the Union Tavern Bar and Grill. Also, a thank you to Senate President Wayne Niederhauser and the Utah Governor's Office of Economic Development for your continued support of the Utah Falcons athletes and the mission of the Women's Excellence for Life Foundation. Fourth and 5 for San Diego. blitz. Gallegos throwing out. That ball caught by Guidry to the 24-yard line. And boy, Jordan Willis has had a great ball game. She almost had a really impressive play there.
She has a nose for the ball, and if she was maybe there a half a second, not even a half a second earlier, that ball would have been batted away.
Boy, A for effort. I thought she was going to get that one. She makes a great break on that throw, but just a little too late, and it's a first down for San Diego. The time down to 3:40, and if I'm the Surge, I'm trying to take that clock down as much as I can.
You don't want to give the Falcons any chance to have the ball back before halftime.
Big play scores have been the name of the game in the second quarter for Utah. Gallegos will throw, and that behind her target, that's a live ball, but it will not stay in play for the Falcons. Giving pursuit was Elisa Salazar trying to recover that treated like a fumble, that pass behind the line of scrimmage.
And it actually would have been if they would have gotten on top of it, because it ended up going behind the play, nobody home, but good knowledge there for not only the coaching staff to tell them to get after it, but also for the players to know that was a fumble.
It is a loss on the play, so because of that ball thrown backward laterally, it's a live football. When it goes out of bounds, that's like a fumble going out of bounds. So now rather than being at the original line of scrimmage, they're back to the 36-yard line.
Which is about 11 yards.
That's a big loss.
Because not only that, it also had a little bit of spin to it to where as soon as it landed on the ground, it kept going back.
Yeah, that was, it did not take Surge-friendly bounces. Second and about 22. Gallegos looking deep. That ball caught through the coverage. What a play made. Boy, there was even safety help coming over. Thought they had a good chance to swipe it away, but it didn't matter. That's a first down.
2 players on that play. Check out the replay here. As Gallegos drops back, and you have 2 players on there, and it still goes in there. Literally, the right hand of the corner was just not in the right spot as far as batting it away, as we also have a player down for the Falcons. It looks like Memory Ware, the safety.
Yeah, Ware was the safety who came over, and you saw her get that arm in there. Not sure if the player came down on that or something got twisted up in the roll, but Memory Ware looks like she's okay.
I also believe that it was Lexi Floor who was on that play as well, who almost had the bat away, was able to get the PBU, but man, that was just a great overall catch. And it's also good for the wide receiver on that play to stick with it. Even though you're covered, you still got to try and get every chance to catch the ball.
These San Diego receivers, I'll tell you this, they'll make high school kids look bad. This is a talented receiving corps for San Diego.
Led by a really good quarterback.
Nice little fake here, interior run, and nothing doing there. Nice job by the interior line of Utah to make the stop.
Something that San Diego should just get in mind right now. They will not be able to run the ball up the middle.
They've tried a couple times, but to your point, they've not had a lot of success. Most of their runs that have had success have been around the perimeter.
It's all on the edge right now, and all of the really good throws, other than the one through the middle in the very first drive.
Yep.
Everything San Diego has been out on the edges.
Have been attacking the edges where they found their success. That was Tina Tella who made the stop for Utah on first down. Have second and goal here for San Diego. Clock's at 1:50. Gallegos throws this quickly. That ball caught up to the 5-yard line. Pickup of 7. It'll be third and goal.
Gallegos knew that she had to get that right on the money really, really quick, because it was one of those plays where we just need to get yardage and not trying to get that home run play into the end zone.
Clock's still running. It's down to 1:25. So this playing right into San Diego's hands here. I mean, if you don't score on third down, you're going to take another 30 seconds off the clock. They could very well give Utah the ball back inside of 30 seconds. But right now, points are the priority. Gallegos on third down. Looking outside. That ball too tall for Guidry. And it'll bring up a fourth down. Maybe most importantly, it stops the clock here with 57 seconds left.
And really, it was a catchable ball. Just couldn't get her fingers on the ball right there. And just wasn't able to hold on to it, bring it down.
Have another look at it here.
As Gallegos goes back right there. Really good throw. You want to get it high to where you don't have other players being able to get a hold of it. Maybe just not even an inch too high, but it was still a catchable ball. Just couldn't get enough grip on it to bring it down.
When you get down this close to the end zone and you're going to try to throw the ball, there's not a lot of room to work. So, to your point, has to play that ball high. A little too high for Guidry. Timeout taken by San Diego. They want to get this right on 4th and goal.
Probably the smartest timeout of the entire game so far for them. It's 4th down. You don't really want to risk anything. It's a crucial drive because you don't want to leave points out there as you're about to head into halftime.
And this is when, us broadcasters who know it all, I say that in air quotes.
Yes.
When we have to eat a bit of our words. I was talking about, taking the timeout to avoid the delay of game. Right now, the San Diego staff laughing at me, and good on them.
Well, there was a couple of timeouts that they ended up taking where they really didn't need to, especially when you have the lead in that. But it seemed like that it didn't really matter on those, trying to stop delay of games. But right now, this is definitely, you've got to get the most out of this timeout because you've got to draw up something really, really good to get into the end zone because you cannot leave points on the board on the road against a team like the Falcons.
Okay, Trevor, so here we go. You've done this before. You looked into the crystal ball. You told us what was going to happen. 4th and 5, San Diego, what are you calling?
You've got to go fade at least to the right side. You've got to get some of that size out onto the edges, and you've got to trust the arm of Gallegos.
The Utah fans trying to make some noise here on 4th down. Pressure on Gallegos. She'll get it away, but it's incomplete. The Utah defense makes a hold.
Seemed like a broken up play right there where it was just broken. Gallegos trying to get the most of it. Luckily, she's got a body build where it's very hard to bring her down and sack her. As you look right there, you've got a couple of players right there, but you also have 2 wideouts on the right side going on that slant route on the in route. And just could not connect. It was too high.
Boy, Utah brought pressure and the right call there. It got to it got to Gallegos. To your point, tough to bring down and able to fight those defenders off. Got the ball away. I think Guidry was the intended target, but couldn't get it down into the hands. And it's a first down here for Utah. Tella with a carry up the middle. Now she's bouncing outside. Tina Tella. Can San Diego catch her? She's at the 50. She's at the 30. There's a penalty flag down back at the 11. Tella into the end zone. It's a touchdown for Utah. We have to wait on the call. There's a flag at the 11. It might be a 95-yard touchdown for Tina Tella.
This could be catastrophic for San Diego, and it looks like it's against them. It looks like
another look at the replay.
Just going to the outside. 2 great blocks right there, and one of them was on their own teammate, and Tina Tella saw green the rest of the way.
Officials discussing here. They're going to wave off the flag. It's a touchdown.
95 yards, Dane. And not only that, you get a stop against San Diego in the red zone, and then first play coming out, and all you're trying to do is just chew up the clock to go into halftime. You get 95-yard touchdown back into the game. Unbelievable.
Man, we talk about Utah Falcons in the second quarter. They scored on big plays. So for San Diego, you're trying to take the time off the clock, right?
Yeah.
Hey, for that one, all you need is 1/10 of a second on the clock, and Tina Tella will do the work.
I almost just chimed in as we're about to start the play, but I don't want to jump in on you. Like, okay, let's just chew up the clock, go into the locker room. But then you get 95 yards out on the edge, and she's not even touched.
By the way,
get out of here.
By the way, that's your fullback.
Yes.
Just went 95 yards. We talk about the plethora of backs for this Utah offense. And
she might need to, I'm guessing that going to the locker room is going to be the best thing for her because she's probably going to be tired going 95 yards.
Get Tina some Gatorade. A 95-yard touchdown for Tella.
That was unbelievable, but catastrophic for San Diego. Not only did you not convert on 4th down in the end zone, but then the very next play you give up a 95-yard run.
Utah trying for the point after, and it's blocked. Great pursuit up the middle by San Diego. Not a lot of lift on the kick, and it makes the score 25-18 for Utah.
Tell you what, I'm still just in shock by that play.
I mean, talk about it. Kind of an odd first half, right? I mean, we really didn't know what to expect. We knew San Diego was good. They come out in the first quarter, 18-7. They have the lead. Utah looks all out of sorts. Can't move the ball. Second quarter, change at quarterback, and we've got 18 unanswered points from the Utah Falcons, and they now lead.
Something to keep in mind, Dane, is that something I want you to watch is the way that the San Diego players are acting right now. They look tired. They look gassed. And especially when you have to chase a fullback 95 yards when you knew you weren't going to catch her. And some of those players are capable of catching a fullback going that many yards. I think that this might start catching up with them because they put a lot of energy in those first few drives to really send a message to the Falcons.
So there's a couple of things here, right? I mean, you made the comment, we were at a commercial break. You mentioned, San Diego doesn't have the same depth that Utah has. It's been one of the real, in my opinion, one of the real strengths of the Utah Falcons has been their depth over the years because they can wear you down over the course of a game. But one other thing, San Diego at sea level, Utah, we're playing 4,800 feet, 5,000 feet up. The air is much thinner up here, so when you don't have that depth, getting your breath, that is a real thing. We see it affect teams all the time when they come here to Utah.
I mean, it just speaks to this team and what they've been able to do and in this 4-year run. And San Diego's starting to get a taste of it now. But also San Diego's done a lot of things to the Falcons that they have not experienced.
It's been a great response for Coach Rasmussen's group. Certainly put in a position they haven't been in a lot. As this kick angled, it will roll out of bounds. That will be a procedure penalty against Utah. But truth be told, if I'm Utah, I'd probably do that more often because the return for San Diego has actually been really good in this game.
Yeah, they've been able to pick up 10, 15 yards, which is very hard to do on kickoffs. They've been able to attack the gaps, and even some of those, some of the time they're going to have to spend 2 or 3 seconds trying to just pick it up from it, rolling down the field.
And to speak to that point, San Diego's not going to take the ball. They're going to make them re-kick it. Say, no, we like our return game.
Yes.
Do it again.
Very smart play there by their coaching staff. But it's been really, Dane, a tale of 2 quarters, if you will. I mean, it was dominated for San Diego in that first quarter where they just came out and sent a message. But guess what? The Falcons said, okay, we got the message. We're going to send one back to you.
One of the other things, I mean, you think about the penalties, and, the one drive for Utah was penalty assisted by San Diego. San Diego took advantage of some Utah penalties. In the second half, we haven't seen nearly the quantity nor the maybe penalty yardage, the same penalty yards given up by teams. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, it
timeout.
Without a timeout, but again, I'm just interested to see of what the message is in the locker room for both teams. Because for San Diego, you've got to try and get them to get their energy back.
I think if you're San Diego here, you're trying to attack, right? You don't have any timeouts. It's an air game. It's an air attack. You've been able to get balls over the top of the secondary. You hope that maybe you get a good field position here, maybe the 35, 40-yard line. Anything above that, I think, is a plus. And then you start attacking the edges, try to get down the field for a quick touchdown. You think that's reasonable in 33 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you've got to try and get this ball game at least tied up or within 1. You've got to get a touchdown within 33 seconds, and it's very doable with this air raid game for San Diego.
The kickoff from the 35, another low kick that takes a hop. It is picked up by Guidry. She's to the 40. Spin inside and tackled at the 43.
Probably a player you don't want to kick to, though, is Guidry, but obviously they were able to wrap her up there. But she's been very, very good in the kickoff game on the returns.
So it will be, 57 yards is the distance that San Diego has to work with. 26 seconds on the clock. No timeouts for the Surge. But Gallegos has shown us she's not afraid to go to the air. Now, the interesting thing we've talked about the last couple of possessions for San Diego, You've seen the secondary play up a lot of press coverage. Right here, playing off. And a smart coaching move here by Utah, trying to keep everything in front of them. Gallegos going to get the ball out of her hand quickly. Guidry mishandled it initially, allowed the defense to collapse down. Willis was the first there. The rest of the team comes up to help make the tackle. San Diego cannot stop the clock because we're down to 10 seconds.
San Diego trying to get another play off.
Clock is down to 5. And whistles here.
Now the clock will stop.
Now we have a procedure penalty, so we'll back it up. One of the things when you're trying to rush up to the line, the clock is now at 0. Because it's on the offense, I would think that it would be the half. Maybe they're saying there was time on the clock and our scorekeeper just didn't get there. So we'll run one more play. You're thinking straight draw here, right?
Yeah, probably at this point. You don't want
Oh, I'm just teasing. I'm going to the air.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, of what's happened in the last few plays is that you try to get a score, but it comes back and haunts you.
Now they're going to call the half.
That was a weird sequence.
I kind of feel the same way as Melissa Gallegos. She's not quite certain what's going on. The officials call halftime. It's 25-18. The Utah Falcons with the lead over the San Diego Surge. We're going to step aside, but we've got halftime festivities going on here from Cottonwood High School. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the second half in 20 minutes. Getting ready to start our second half. Dane Stewart here with Trevor Allen. And Trevor, what a first half that was. The Utah Falcons trailed. They've come back. They lead here 25-18.
And really, something that I'm really interested to see of how this second half starts for San Diego. For those of you who are just tuning into this broadcast, fourth and goal, San Diego had it at the Falcons' 5-yard line. They turned it over on downs. There's about a minute left in the second quarter. And then the Falcons' first play from scrimmage, right after that, 95-yard run from a fullback, untouched Tinatella.
Now, we hope you enjoyed halftime. We were here working at halftime. I had a chance to talk with one of the officials, and I asked him, hey, so what happened with the football? If you remember, there was some stoppage in the second quarter, and his explanation to me, there's a new league-approved football. The Utah Falcons are playing with it. It is an approved ball. The San Diego Surge did not know or had not received notification from the league that this ball was approved. So they were questioning whether that ball could be utilized by Utah. The officials reviewed it, looked into it. Yes, it's an approved ball. We continue on, but that was what that stoppage was for. Nice piece of execution by our officials to make sure everything legit and legal here between two of the best teams in the Pacific Division.
So really, I'll just ask you this. It wasn't deflated.
Not deflated.
Can we confirm that?
Yes.
Okay.
Second half kickoff received by the Falcons. Boy, a big hit put on. That's not the first time that we've seen the Surge come in with hits. It's Rosada coming in and laying the wood.
And really, she was also doing a little trash talk at the end. Probably something I can't say on the air, but a really good tackle there. Now, what I want to see, Dane, can San Diego put together a stop and create some confidence, momentum for their offense to try and get back into this game, because they had a catastrophic sequence happen at the end of that first half.
I could actually read Rosado's lips. She said, nice return. That's what she said. I think that's family friendly. I think we could.
The fact that you could read that through a helmet is impressive.
Oh, these things are 2020, my friend.
Oh, I would say.
First play from the line of scrimmage in the second half for the Falcons, and little trap play. This one going to be big. Off to the races. Ain't no catching. Keisha Cox. First play from the line of scrimmage in the second half. And we go 66 yards for the touchdown.
For the Falcons, over 140 yards on 2 carries.
That's ridiculous. We just heard 104 yards on 2 carries from our PA announcer, Trip Mitchell. That's incredible. Because I was just saying that San Diego needs to come out and put together a stop for the Falcons. The exact opposite happened. And it was first play from scrimmage again. As you can tell, just nothing there. Great blocking. You've got to give all the credit. I would say 95% of the credit to the blocking up front.
So Tripp does a great job, but I'm going to question his math. 95 plus 66?
Yeah.
That's 160 yards in the last 2 carries.
Yeah.
161 technically.
I'll never listen to Tripp again. I'm just saying that. But I didn't want to do the math in my head, and I didn't want to pull out my phone either.
Hey.
But either way, it's the fact just on the last 2 plays, really, it's incredible.
If I didn't have it written down, I would have taken Tripp's words for it. I like Tripp.
Well, I should know you're writing it down.
Guy. I don't mean that to be
and that was a color analyst curse right there. Always wait for your play-by-play guy to write down the math first before you actually – and never listen to PA announcers.
You're good. You're good. Tripp, I love you, man. All right, point after here for Utah. As this game has flipped and flipped quickly, it was 18-7. They will try for the 1. The 1 is good. It is 32-18.
Literally a blink of an eye, and it's now a 13-point lead for the Falcons.
25 unanswered points. The Utah Falcons looking to remain undefeated, leading the San Diego Surge.
So once again, the last 2 carries for the Falcons, a total of 151 yards. 95-yard touchdown and a 56-yard touchdown. Tella on the 95 and Cox on the 56. Let's hear it for the offensive line for the Utah Falcons. The ladies on the line do the hard work. They don't get their names mentioned much, but that is great blocking up front.
You know, one of the things we talked about a few moments ago, well, back in the first half, Jordan Willis, a nomination for the Semi-Pro Football Hall of Fame, as is Keisha Cox. And you see that return, it's no wonder. Unreal season for Keisha Cox for the Utah Falcons. Is this kick angled? Going to be handled from the 15-yard line. Look at the pursuit by Utah. Looking for somewhere to go, and nice job to pick up a couple of yards after the first Falcon special teamers arrived.
Now, you were doing some work at halftime. So was I. I found out that 95-yard run from Tina Tella at the end of the first half, as we have a player down on the field for San Diego, that run for Tina Tella was not the longest in team history. 98 yards from Tina Tella. Again, a fullback doing 98. They said it was either 98 or 99 yards, that she might have had her heels in the end zone.
Wow, that's quite the run. As it looks like the Surge player able to get back to her feet. That was Christina Soto. It was a little slow to get up, but able to jog off. Good to see. Love the game of football, but you never want to see someone get injured, hurt, and certainly hope that everyone's safe in doing so. Good to see Soto appear to be all right.
All right, what I want to see here now, Dane, is how can San Diego's offense bounce back?
What's their response going to be? Gallegos will start in the shotgun. She hands off on first down. This ball taken forward, a pickup of 3 on the ground.
Keeping it safe, running a little sweep to the right, and then was able to cut up the middle a little bit. Was able to pick up 3 yards. It's not a lot, but it's something.
I think there's a couple things here. If you're San Diego, you trail by a couple possessions, so certainly got to get the defense sorted out. That's obviously number one. Number two, you know, I'm trying to take some time off the clock here. I think Utah right now is starting to turn this into a track meet. And you can certainly attack in the air, but I'm going to try to limit their possessions as much as possible. 2nd and 7. Gallegos will throw over the middle. That ball, boy, I thought it hit the turf. Yeah, Utah saying that's an interception, but I'm right there with the officials. It was an impressive effort, but I think that was incomplete.
Lindy Pressgard was the one who batted it and almost corralled, but then ended up hitting the ground. And I believe that was number 44.
Alcala.
Yep, Myra Alcala. So really right now, just nothing going the way for San Diego. It seems like they've got to have some big play. Right now, if I'm their coaching staff and the offensive coordinator, you've got to bust out something, some trickeration. You've got to get something going because there's no momentum, no confidence right now in this offense.
Yeah, I was just going to say momentum is with Utah. And need something to turn that around. Utah jumped offside. Free play here for San Diego. Gallegos going over the middle. That ball caught. It is beyond the stick. It'll be a first down for San Diego as this ball gets up to the 39-yard line. On the reception, Jessica Cable, who had sure hands back in the first quarter.
She really doesn't even need to jump to get that ball. She's got a very tall body and is able to take a lot of punishment from the linebackers and was able to just cut across the middle, just like in that first half, in the first quarter, and was able to get it.
So the ball spotted at the 39-yard line here for San Diego on a possession that seems to be pretty important here for the Surge. Three receivers at the bottom of the screen. One now motioning up. Gallegos looking deep. What a one-handed grab by Guidry. Right over the top of the defensive floor, but that is a one-handed catch, and Guidry continues to impress. One-handed
catch. She can catch it in small spaces. She can catch it in open field. She can catch anything at this point right now. So if I'm the San Diego Surge, get her the ball every time, whether she's covered or not.
Boy, she even had to turn around for that, right? She's looking in, had to turn her body away.
Pedaling
catches
backwards.
That.
Unbelievable.
What a grab by Guidry.
I'll tell you what, though, Dane, there are some great athletes on this San Diego football team.
They've been impressive today, the receiving corps specifically.
Literally 2 plays have separated this game.
Yeah. On first down, a carry. Trying to get outside, not going to get it done. Coming up, Tina Tella, able to make the tackle for loss.
I guess she still has some gas left in the tank after that 95-yarder. She delivers a hit, which now has a San Diego Surge player down on the field.
Might be Jasmine Stovall. As you see Tella burst through there and take her down. Legs may have gotten caught underneath Tella. She's holding that right knee. You see there on the replay. Now Stovall able to get up. Trying to put some weight on that, but she'll have to come off for a play.
And it looks like she's getting up, heading over to the sideline with a little limp. And we now play on.
Yeah,
now,
those knees are tough things. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say I want to see the answer from Gallegos here. She's got to grab a hold of this game now before it slips away too far into the Falcons' hand. She needs to take command.
An important play here. The Utah defense has righted things. After giving up some plays in the first quarter, they've looked much better since then. Cannot play behind the sticks on third down. This is an important 2nd and 14. Gallegos over the middle. That ball too tall, intercepted. And then it's fumbled. Boy, a great hit coming from behind by San Diego. I think that Utah jumped back on top of it. They did. It will be Falcon football. Another look at the play.
She throws it downfield and just right there reads it from day one, reads it like a book. Tasha Iono. And then almost lost the ball too. But still a great play, great read by Iona.
Don't know if she just didn't see the safety. That ball thrown a little in front of her receiver, too much inside, and a great play made by the secondary of Utah, who, what is that, the 4th turnover today by San Diego.
And really, the thing is, safeties are the worst nightmare for quarterbacks.
Yep.
And that was just the truth right there.
Inside handoff, a couple yards on the dive. Picking up a pair.
And it looks like they've gone back to Elizabeth Lane under center.
And I like this move. You don't want her to lose her confidence because you make a shift, right? Or you make the change at quarterback.
Exactly.
Coming out in the second half, she's got an opportunity to gather her thoughts, get back in this game, and see if she can just kind of fend off a bad first half.
Yeah, and really, I just want to see of what she could do here. She knows that they have a padded lead. Let's see if she could build on it.
Yeah, they're going to stay again on the ground here. Nice carry up the middle, across the 45 to the 44-yard line.
That's one of the most important parts of a coach's relationship with his players.
It'll be third down, and after a couple of interior runs, maybe see something around the corner here. Trying to pack the interior is the defense. Where the pitch, first down, Keisha Cox across the 30 and out of bounds.
Elizabeth Lane had the ball in the hands of, I believe it was Tina Tella, but then took it away just enough to roll out and then pitch it.
I said where. Elizabeth Lane, my apologies.
They're really close on the roster.
Oh, man.
They're literally a number apart.
Tella was a little slow, took her helmet off. Maybe gather her breath a little bit, get composed.
She got a lot of yards on those shoes right now.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if she got popped on the option in, but as it is, she comes off here on first down. Toss. Cox looking for a lane, not a lot of room. Nice pursuit by San Diego. Coming up to make the play was Lauren Davis.
Keisha Cox had two really good blocks around the edge, but just couldn't get that third one sealed up for her to attack that gap. But still a good play right there as she sneaks around the edge.
Great lateral movement by San Diego. When we talk about these long runs, and as a defender you get locked up on blocks, that time able to stay free from blocks, roam, and make the tackle to limit to a short gain.
As you look here, three in the back.
Showing pressure up the middle. They stay on the ground. Siqueiros able to pick up a pair on the carry.
Something to really talk about, though, Dane, is with Tina Tella down, it's not the end for them.
Yeah.
She isn't their number one player by any means. They have a lot of those players, and it just speaks to the depth of this Falcons football team.
This drive, almost a bit of a slow death for San Diego, just kind of chipping away. It's 3rd and 4. Lane blocking on the outside. Now the pitch to Cox. First down inside the 20 as she skirts out of bounds around the 16-yard line.
Lane able to get to the outside. She even had enough to just stop in her tracks. As you look right here, she starts slowing down. Notice that there wasn't anything there. Pitches it right over there to gain about 3 or 4 more yards right there.
If you recall, she got popped a couple times. There's no need to take any more hits if you're Elizabeth Lane.
Especially if
Give
it
that
isn't
ball
needed.
to Cox, let her take the contact.
Let it fly.
Down to 8:41 left here in our third quarter. Back to the ground. Again, a short gain here for the Falcon offense.
Just trying to get something going on the ground, just keeping it going, trying to maybe try a couple of plays up the middle. Right now it's not working, but maybe they'll like, okay, let's go back to the edge. Let's try and get around the edge.
And maybe this is how you help Lane feel more confident in this game, is to establish the running game again. Second down. And a forced early pitch here is a lot of contact. Keisha Cox able to get around the outside. Cox Lane, touchdown, Utah.
Touchdown, Falcons.
And that's all that Elizabeth Lane needed. She just had to get out of the pocket, roll out to her right, and then able to try and get something going. Found the perfect pitch right there. As she comes out, and she gets hit while at it too. And you and I have talked about it in that first half where she was getting drilled, but was able to make the right read at the right time before she got popped. And touchdown, Falcons.
Now, one of the things we saw in the first half a lot by this San Diego defense was their linemen getting through the offensive line, particularly up the A-gaps, and forcing early hits on some of those dive plays. That time they get great interior rush that force the ball out of the hand quick. But Cox has fantastic blocking once she's able to get around the edge. And I mean, this running game starting to find its footing as the Falcons now looking to go for 2.
It seems like that they're in a little bit of a rhythm in San Diego. I mean, I guess it was good for them to call timeout because I think they were probably close to a delay game. But you've got to look at it, Dane, that San Diego probably this is probably the most important timeout for them because there's a lot of rhythm going in this offense.
Yeah, this is one of those points if you're the Surge that, I mean, this game's still not out of the woods. We saw how quickly they could score in that first half, in the first quarter in particular. But without a couple of new answers to unanswered questions, this game's starting to get away from San Diego.
I am definitely curious of what the message was from Rick Rasmussen in the locker room to his Falcons team because they're coming out. And he ought to be pleased with what he's seeing because they're really on their way to, I mean, I hate to say this because we all know we want a really entertaining game, but it's not looking good for San Diego right now.
Lane under center for the two-point conversion as she's been all drive. Looking to throw here. Pressure coming on Lane. She's got to get rid of it. That's a fumble. Oh, boy, I thought that ball was thrown backwards. They'll rule an incomplete pass, and the play be dead. It's 38-18, the lead for the Utah Falcons.
I thought that was thrown backwards. Either way, they would have corralled it if it was, but it looks like we have a player down.
Yeah, so this is where Lane tried to throw the ball, tried to get it to her back. There was contact there on the tackle. But player appears to be
having a hard time getting
up. Boy, is that Cox.
Ooh, that might sting a little bit.
You know, you mentioned, it's okay for Tina Tell to run for 95 because you have depth. I don't know if it's okay for Cox to leave a game.
She's one of those who gets multiple carries, but Tina Tell, whenever she gets carries, she makes the most of it.
Yeah, Cox is a game changer. They're going to hope that she's okay and trying to put some weight on that.
Hopefully it's just a little knock and it's not something that could last more than outside of this game.
The no-hose belt you love is now offered for women. Use promo code Falconz10, that's Falcons with a Z, for Falcons fans to get discounts on their beautiful belt collections from Mission Belts. Thanks to Mission Belts for sponsoring Utah Falcons football.
I'm in the market for a new belt.
Give them a check. Go check it out.
You know I will.
Although the promo makes it sound like it's women's belt wear. Or maybe they have it for both genders and
if
it's
not,
targeted.
I
The
got
ad
a
is
wife.
targeted for women. There you go.
So either way, going to take advantage. But yeah, check out that promo code there.
Falcons 10 at Mission Belts.
It's always good to have a lot of these sponsors providing support for this football team.
Hey, they make it possible. Our thanks to them, and the Falcons sure appreciate it. Kick here, again angled. This is going to be caught out of the air by Bridges. Bridges looking to the middle. Big hit put on.
Just leveled by one player, potentially two with that back support.
Karen Call came up and introduced herself formally to Bridges. Look at this hit coming up. Boom.
She could have at least took her to dinner to introduce herself first. My goodness.
It's kind of a rude introduction.
I know.
I was going to say, there is a Famous Dave's just a mile directly south, also a sponsor here. Maybe for the fifth quarter they can go and have a more polite introduction. Famous Dave's a great site.
And maybe she might actually apologize because when you're out on the gridiron,
there you go.
Throw it out, man.
First down for San Diego, and drives now becoming a premium for the Surge. On the ground, nice carry here for San Diego.
Very nice push when they haven't had any luck getting it up the middle. And they were able to push forward and get about, you've got about 4 yards on there.
They haven't scored since late in that first quarter.
Again, we want to thank some of our sponsors who make this game so.
This Falcon defense, which looked suspect in that first quarter, has been fantastic since, generating turnovers, shutting down this potent offense. Gallegos going to hand off on second down, looking for a lane. Stood up, fantastic job filling the gap by Lindsey Prescott.
You probably don't want to get greedy when trying to run up the middle on this Falcons defense. Yeah, you're able to get about 4 yards, but you probably don't want to go back to back. Just a thought.
Yeah, I'd presume here on third and 5, going to be a passing situation.
UTF Falconz, you get a discount on all your car services at any Bird Brothers location.
See how they answer on this 3rd and 6.
Gallegos trying deep up the sideline, nearly intercepted. Boy, Lexi Floor had a great opportunity and went right through her fingers.
The leading receiver had a chance to catch the ball from the opposing quarterback, and it was very close to being there. She was right there, just had to pull it in, but then the wide receiver for the Surge was able to say, no way, you're not getting an interception on us.
Well, that would have been a great over-the-shoulder interception by Floor. Just missed one. San Diego,
could have been the 5th turnover and maybe the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Even a punt here, and it doesn't look great for the Surge with 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
They might try and fake it here. Okay.
It's a good punt. Utah had no one back. It takes a hop, and it will be downed at the 35-yard line by San Diego.
They probably just said, why don't we just play where it lies and not worry about taking that chance of a bobbled punt and giving any kind. They're trying to take away any kind of potential momentum for the Surge.
Stevens Henniger College, a proud sponsor of the Utah Falconz football. Our teachers will help you with your education every single step of the way. We provide all textbooks, supplies, and equipment at no additional charge. Provide free tutoring for any class. And our students, we know how to help our students and help them overcome their struggles to be successful. Resume, portfolio management, Stevens Henniger College, a proud sponsor of Utah Falconz football.
I can also personally tell you that they do all that. I had a brother who just graduated from Stevens Henniger College.
I might need to go look at Stevens Henniger College. I'm having trouble reading through the reads. Can help me out. First down for the Falconz as they start on their own 35, a toss. Not a lot of room. Good pursuit defensively by San Diego on the carry by Tasha Iono.
Just trying to get something going. You know, you don't have Tina Tella and Keisha Cox right now. Just trying to get something going.
And if you're Utah, fortunate you've built up the lead to what it is right now with those players a couple of dings and maybe rest them the rest of the game and help them get healthy. There will be more important games this year for Utah down the road.
But getting this one in their pocket is going to be huge.
Nice carry up the middle. Is that by Siqueiros? Able to be, well, she's close to the first down. Yep, they're going to give it to her.
Probably a lot of people are saying that it's Tina Tella the reason for getting back into this game. You got to go with the backup quarterback, Bean. She was huge in getting them back into this ball game, and nothing against Lane. She's still learning. She'll be fine, and right now she's looking good here in this drive.
Yeah, Lane operating pretty well here in this second half. Little delay. That ball stripped, and it's San Diego generating their first turnover of the game. Picked up by Gorell. I was going to say Guidry, but she's 21. Gorell, number 31, able to capitalize and create the turnover for San Diego.
Still no word on Keisha Cox, but I have seen Tina Tella out there. She just came off the field, obviously, with the fumble. So that's good, but obviously turning over the ball, you can't have that happen. If you want to keep building this and have this game put away, you don't want to give San Diego any chance to get back into this football game.
It is just a 3-touchdown deficit. Now, I know people like 3 touchdowns. Come on. They scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. I mean, this offense can put points up. So, important point right here for Utah to try to shut down San Diego in relative good field position. This ball thrown out in front of the intended target, looking the way of Stovall. Incomplete.
Even though the Falconz defense has not sacked Gallegos, just putting pressure on there, getting her to get a little unsettled on her toes. And right now it's paying off as she overthrew the wide receiver.
I wonder if the turnovers maybe making Gallegos second-guess things a little bit. She was pretty sharp in that first quarter, and she's had some nice throws, but the second, and then she had an interception here in the third. Wondering if that's starting to make her second-guess or maybe look for more open routes and and maybe stalling the offense a little bit.
Number one step to making a great quarterback is what is in between the ears. And right now, she's probably feeling her confidence could be a little bit low, and it all starts between the ears.
Second down for Gallegos. Again, we'll throw. Trying deep. That ball overthrown. Intercepted by Iono. Don't know if they're going to catch her. The 20, 10, touchdown, Utah.
Speaking of confidence, if Gallegos' confidence wasn't low enough, it is now. What a pick by Iono, as there wasn't even, it just seemed like it was an overthrown ball. Maybe trying to have that home run hit, and right there. And nothing but green and pay dirt right there for Iono, as this is really getting out of reach.
Boy, trying to throw over the top of the secondary, and a fantastic coverage by Iono. And boy, I mean, just not a big window to place that football, and the safety makes her pay.
I will ask you, Dane, because you and I were talking about in that first quarter and part of the second quarter where she was throwing dimes to wide receivers over the top and everything. Do you think maybe she got a little greedy?
I don't know if it's greedy. I mean, that time you're kind of working out of a bunch. You're trying to get a ball over the top. I don't know. They had success attacking the sidelines in the first half. I think they're still going after that game plan, but I think the Falcons have made the adjustment, and San Diego hasn't quite caught up to it yet.
And it might be too late.
Point after try for the Falcons, up good. It is 45-18. The Utah Falcons feeling good here at home. 3:44 left in the third quarter.
The Falcons go up by a score of 45-18.
My favorite part of that pick six, I don't know if you saw it, it was Hannah Seumanu. And as Iono was running the end zone, Seumanu was standing about the 35-yard line at 40, and she's just waving. Just waving. I just thought that was awesome. Like,
she gone.
Bye.
We'll see ya.
Not catching her.
I would bet, and again, I'm not going to try and predict this, but if I were a betting man, I would guess that Keisha Cox is done for the night.
This ball, a roller, gathered at the 30-yard line. Nice turn up near midfield. Good return here for San Diego. They'll have good field position to start this drive. Yeah, you see Cox on the sideline, ice pack. And
on that knee.
Yep, go back to what we were talking about. There's no need to push it here.
Especially right now when you've got a very sizable lead.
Yeah. One of the things that we've talked about, the importance of this game, and we mentioned Utah will have more important games, and in part because they're winning this game. But these are the last two undefeated teams in the Pacific Division. This game obviously will have a lot of sway, not sway, but it will bear a lot of impact in terms of who represents the division in the playoffs and the championships. This is a big game, and Utah looking really, really solid here at home. On the ground, carry for a pickup of 3 for the Surge.
Right now, you're just trying to clean up everything on defense, and for San Diego, you're just trying to find any kind of spark to get you going, because as you get towards the end of the third quarter, as we have 3 minutes remaining in the third, you've got to try and get something on the board to give yourself a boost, because right now it's not looking good.
Second down and 6 for San Diego. Gallegos. Utah brings some extra pressure. Hand off, run to the right side. First down for San Diego. Still on their feet. The carry there by Courtney Rosado, I believe, as she takes us to the 39-yard line.
And that's exactly what they needed. They got to, trying to get up into that second level. She was able to do that. And hopefully you just got to keep building on it. You're, right now for the Surge, you're just at this point where let's just try and get the sticks moving, gain some of the confidence, and not worry about the scoreboard right now.
It's one of those things, even if you can force a turnover, gain an extra possession, but you got to take care of the football on offense and take advantage of your opportunities. First drive, or first down on the 39. 5 receivers en route, looking up the field, intercepted again! Is that Iono again?
Trying to find the number as it's bunched together.
I know, it's tough.
The Falcons take over.
I believe it's not. I think it's Chiltron.
Is it 10? Yeah, it is. It was 10. It was Sarah. Help me
Gallica.
out. Gallica. I knew I was going to get that wrong.
She's in the quarterback bullpen, if you will,
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
So making plays. She's the Falcon Swiss Army knife. She plays everywhere. She's also a graduate of Weber State. She coaches high school girls basketball at a charter school in Salt Lake, too.
Good for her.
So speaking of Swiss Army knife,
No kidding, huh?
not only just in football.
Football, basketball, does it all. So the Falcons, and look who's under center. Going back with Luis Bean here on this drive. As a carry there by Iono, going to take this up near the 30. I would presume this is one of those situations where you got Lane back in there, gave her some confidence, executed a couple drives, some touchdowns, and now you're on the backup duties with Bean.
Well, probably not only that, but I think they want to just put one final nail in the Surge's coffin. And right now, that also could be a message to them. And it's probably nothing against Elizabeth Lane. She's done a really good job for what she's had, but she's learning. But when you have a veteran who's been playing this for 8 years and at a high level too, a championship level, you got to go with it.
Gonna throw, nowhere to go. A penalty flag comes in here as the coverage by Guidry, and I think she put some contact on Caitlin Rafe once that ball was in the air.
Yeah, it was just a push. I mean, the thing you got to look at though, is it catchable? I don't think it was a catchable ball.
I think it would have been if there isn't for the contact. But I'm
Very close.
I'm not sure.
Very close because she hadn't cut up field just yet to go after the ball.
It's going to be a costly penalty. That's going to mark it up to the 40-yard line. So it'll be first down at the 40. 1:30 remaining in the third quarter. Not much room to work on that play as the carry by Siqueiros brought down for a loss of 2. How about Veronica Siqueiros? Let's talk about this for a little bit. A lot of these players do duties with National Guard, with Army, with the military. She's one of them, was recently assigned to Virginia. She comes back to play in the games. She comes back from Virginia to be a member of the Utah Falcons. This pitch can't be handled, and it is a turnover by Utah. San Diego able to hop on it, and the offense for the Surge will come out.
You definitely want, and I'll go back to that thought on Veronica here in just a minute. You really don't want to have this happen if you're the Falcons, but for San Diego, any little bit of life you can get, you're going to take. But on Veronica, that's quite the commute.
No kidding, huh? You think traffic's bad here? It takes you a long time to get to work. Try flying across the country. That fumble was recovered by Mercedes Tyler for San Diego.
Tell you what, though, it's awesome to where they're still committed to their team, but they're also committed to their country, and we definitely salute them.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, there are a lot of military members on the Utah Falcons. Great football players, but I know I speak for myself, Trevor, I presume for you
Absolutely.
too. A great gratitude goes out to them for their service and all they do to help serve citizens of this great country. Is a carry here on first down for San Diego. Nice room up that right side. As this may be Rosado again, able to take that ball up inside the 25-yard line for a first down.
Able to get up into that second level on the right side as she's able to get around the edge. Breaks one tackle, was able to get around another one. Right now, if on the San Diego coaching staff, which we don't have their names, they didn't provide that to us, is take care of the football. Don't throw horrible passes. Try not to throw any picks. Hold on to the football, but you're telling Gallegos, be smart. Use your head. Because she's a talented quarterback, just made some really poor decisions as of late.
On first down, Gallegos will hand off. Boy, great job cutting through the line. I think that was Prescott who came up and unblocked, able to burst through and bring down the ball carrier for a loss.
It's probably one of those great joys of being a linebacker as you can get through into the backfield without being touched. And that's exactly what happened with Lindy Prescott, and was able to wrap her up. But that's also one of the things where you've got to make sure you wrap them up, because if you don't, you're going to look silly trying to wrap up and then they break a tackle.
Yeah, made a bit of a swinging stab at the feet, and fortunately for Prescott, it was able to come through. And with that, our third quarter has come to a close. The Utah Falcons flying high. They lead San Diego 45-18 after the third quarter.
45, San Diego 18. Let's hear it for the Utah Falcons.
Take a moment here between quarters to thank some of our sponsors. Famous Dave's is seriously 1 mile directly south from where we're at right now. 1300 East in Fort Union, your Utah Falcons fifth quarter sponsor. They invite all Falcons family, friends, fans to eat with us after the game. Famous Dave's has received over 700 awards for their delicious barbecue flavors, styles, smokes, sauces, everything. Come enjoy bold to the bone barbecue today or any day at Famous Dave's. Blackley and Wingate, attorneys specializing in criminal defense and family law, fighting for you in criminal and family court. You can contact them at www.blackleywingate.com or 801-948-8044. Eye Signs and Awnings, we've got your front. Our thanks to Eye Signs and Awnings for their sponsorship of Utah Falcons football. As we start the fourth quarter, Gallegos, a pump fake, and she's going to get held up. I was kind of hoping for the first sack of the game. Neither side get her down. Has been sacked. And how about this? Gallegos is down to the 14 like, I didn't get tackled. Come on.
She was at least stopped for 3 seconds. And then after that, as soon as they blow the whistle, they let her go. But look, she wasn't taken down.
I don't cheer for sides, right? But I'm actually going to side with Gallegos on this. I thought that was a pretty quick forward progress whistle. Yeah. Normally you try to protect quarterbacks, and I get that. I think Gallegos, I think she's okay with some contact, and I probably would have let that one keep going for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I would have waited another second or two, especially because you got to give them a chance to get back into this game. And I'm not saying to, start stopping the rules by any means, but yeah, I felt like that was a little bit of a quick whistle too.
We'll bring up a third down and longer than they would like. About 13 yards to go here as Gallegos getting the call, and maybe got a little bit of a delay. Yeah, timeout, I think, going to be taken here. Timeout, San Diego. The Union Tavern Bar and Grill is an awesome place to play in dart tournaments and hang out with friends. Plus, there's always random events and karaoke. The owners, fantastic guys. The best place for a night out in Utah, the Union Tavern Bar and Grill, just a few miles from the field on 7200 South and 900 East. Thank you to the Union Tavern for sponsoring Utah Falcons football. Of course, want to give a big thanks to our production crew here today. Bill Francis, Vince Francis has been fantastic. Trevor Allen, never worked with him before, but he's been fantastic today. Trevor, thank you for coming on out and helping us broadcast today's game. It's been a good one.
Hey, it's been great working with you. Hopefully we could do it again. I enjoy this. You do a great job.
3rd down and 13. They're going to stay on the ground here. Boy, nice carry. Guidry able to take this inside the 20 to about the 16, 17-yard line.
It was even bobbled when it was handed off to her, but she was able to make the most of it, corral it, and, slip and slide her way into the front. But obviously, penalty comes down, and it's a buzzkill.
Yeah, the flag is hidden. It's right in front of Coach Rasmussen. I didn't even see it.
I just saw it just now.
Yeah,
as
I
you
just
said
saw
it.
her white hat giving a signal. I was like, oh, well, that's too bad, because it was a nice run by Guidry that's going to come off the books.
Just when you think you have something going, it's been the story of all the opponents who have faced the Falcons. It's just it happened later rather than sooner.
And let's talk about this. There's a pretty good crowd on hand today.
How many would you say is here?
I saw something that said they had 500 tickets pre-sold. I know I saw Ron McBride was here.
Yeah, he
saw
was
a
doing
couple
an
of high
interview with
school
Tripp.
coaches here.
Yep.
Get on out and come support this team. This is a fun brand of football, and back-to-back national champions. Come give some Utah love to the Utah Falcons.
They even have gear too.
I know.
Where you could purchase some gear, look
Yeah.
like a lot of the fans in here. Where they have, they even have personalized jerseys. You could definitely tell who the parents are in the crowd. But yeah, I would say about 500's here.
Gallegos looking deep, has a receiver, and that ball incomplete. Was trying for Casey Clark, and I thought she maybe slowed up a bit. Ended up putting her out of position for the catch.
Now watch this, Dane, as she comes back into the gun. Catches, obviously, it was a high snap, but goes deep. As you look, she comes in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Had she not taken a step in and just kept going on stride, probably would have been a catch.
Yeah, I saw the same thing, and boy, that had 6. That would have been a touchdown. Instead, it'll be 4th and about 18 yards to go. Pressure. That ball too high for Guidry. Wouldn't have mattered. Jordan Willis wasn't going to let that play go anywhere, and San Diego will turn it over on downs.
Jordan Willis is definitely a huge part of that defense. I would say it's her and Lindy Prescott, just both of them great leaders, and not only do they show it vocally, but also out on the field and how they play.
And you know what you got to love is understanding down and distance. Just coming up, going to make a sure tackle. We're going to wrap up. If they make the catch, who cares? They pick up 3 yards. We get the ball anyway. Fantastic job there by Jordan Willis. Sometimes you see players get so aggressive, or they make the wrong play, and it allows another opportunity. Willis, a fantastic play there on 4th down.
Well, really, just on that play on 4th and 18, keep everything in front of you. Don't let them go over the top, because havoc happens from that. And just like you said, know you're down in distance, and they did just that. They knew that, okay, throw it out to the side, big whoop. That's 5 yards. It's not gonna cut it.
Boy, another absolute lick on Lane, and a big hit late on Siqueiros.
And another quarterback change. It was Bean on the last drive, and then Lane back in for this drive. But yeah, she had to put that up in front of her helmet and basically push it to the back.
Boy, San Diego played the option so well there. That edge comes around, crashes down on the quarterback. But boy, yeah, she took a lick on that one.
Amazing Falcons staff, work with youth, and it should be a great afternoon.
Right now, all you want to do is just chew up the clock, Dane, and head home with a win. And so I would just think that they're just going to run the ball like they normally do, but they had to throw the ball quite a bit today.
Play clock winding down. Utah got to hurry here. I think we're going to have a timeout by Coach Rasmussen.
Timeout on the field.
Play was a little late coming in. Burt Brothers, use the code UT-Falcons and get discounts on all your car services at any Burt Brothers location. Tires, engine, brakes, oil change. We take care of you for all of your vehicle needs.
I want to thank the folks.
That's a fantastic deal. Wherever you're at, Burt Brothers, Utah Falcons, discounts.
They can.
Awesome. Also, thank you to Network for Good and the United Way for their support of Utah Falcons football.
Some of the sponsors that have made this season such a success: Stephen Hanford College. Our teachers will help you with your education every step of the way. We provide all the textbooks, supplies, equipment at no additional charge.
You would probably guess that San Diego's already thrown in the towel then. Would you guess that, Dane?
Well, I think you're still playing for something. You're playing for next week, rest of the season. A flag comes in on the play as Iono takes this past the original line of scrimmage if the play holds.
She was just able to get to the outside. A very nice spin move as well.
Now, I want you to know that I just had my shoulder replaced. Do we have security?
We wait to get the call here, and it's going to be a face mask penalty on San Diego, so tack some extra yardage on. And I think that will equate to a first down for Utah. You know, it's one of the things, and you know, call this my bad. You try to do your preparation, and sometimes you're limited by resource. I'm not quite sure how the IWFL playoffs work, but I know there are playoffs, and I'm not sure if it's a division winner against division winner or if there's multiple teams. But look, just because San Diego may lose this game doesn't mean they may not play Utah again in the playoffs. So I think there's still a lot to play for, still a lot here that you can maybe try to test and see if this works or if that works in the great game of chess/football.
And they have, and really the Falcons have one more game coming up. They're going to Nevada to take on the Storm before they get ready for the playoffs.
My bad, it's 2nd down and 5 after the penalty. The toss back here to Tella as she tries to scurry ahead for the first down. A late flag comes in. You saw that come in. As we await the call for this one, Tella was just short of that first down stick. A block in the back will.
And really, this is also a good thing for the Falcons and their coaching staff. They can look at this game tape, clean some things up, and get ready and know that, okay, you guys were tested now, and you were able to bounce back from it, but here are some of the things that we're able to clean up, and one of them is penalties.
Yeah, there might be a couple of teams that are interested in this tape, especially with the first quarter that San Diego had. Hey, is there a way to maybe attack the Falcons? Now, that being said, and we've talked about it, they've shored up the perimeter. And
they really have.
I mean, you know, San Diego's tried to go there time and time again and has not had success where a lot of their turnovers have come. 11 minutes left. 2nd down and 14 for Utah after the penalty. And you see here Lane just waiting for that back judge to start counting down the shot clock. She'll hand off with Iono. Trying to get around the edge. Tasha does. First down, Utah, and wrangled out of bounds at the 46.
She just kept going and going and going, getting into that second level and was really close to finding the end zone. As she comes around there, just blows past 2 defenders, and another one almost had a face mask on there too. But just a great overall run, great blocking by all.
Nice run by Iono.
And if there was a bench press out there, she'd be lifting right now. Thank God.
As a collegiate soccer player, also played on the New Zealand national team. So
that's impressive.
You know, I got a lot of admiration for soccer athletes. Their endurance is second to none, and if you're going to play tailback in this offense, you got to be pretty good in that quality.
She is wearing a Batman hat, so I guess that's kind of redundant.
1st and 10. Quick throw. Siqueiros, nowhere to go. That play read by Guidry immediately.
And really a lot of it is, and you know, you can look at the head coach of the Falcons, Rick Rasmussen. He's looking at his coaches, and I think he's saying that right now they're just reading it, and they're reading the eyes of the quarterback, and they're looking at the personnel, and I'm talking about the San Diego Surge defense, and they read that from the very beginning. And I think it was just one of those plays that was drawn up that you have to go to that play, but really you don't.
And now on the sideline, Siqueiros is down. She came off the field hobbling. She waved off help, but she nearly needed it. She's being looked at now by a trainer, and the depth of backs of Utah being shown here today is a lot of their starters dealing with some dings. Motion. Lane, got to turn up the field. Elizabeth Lane, boy, nearly had
Another first down.
a big touchdown run in front of her. Was stopped really by her own lineman, as that was A.J. Roby that helped to bring her down.
164 yards on the ground coming into this game and 3 touchdowns for Lane. She just saw the opening right there and was able to slip and slide through a couple of gaps, zigzag, if you will, and was able to find some really good gaps right there that were found.
All the families in town, that's why he was doing a little dancing earlier, because he was happy.
It'll be a first down after the Lane run. That ball's loose. San Diego jumps on it. It's another Utah turnover, and it is Surge football.
Normally you would look at turnovers, Dane, and it's sloppy offense, but
Never had a good handoff here.
and that's one of those sloppy turnovers that didn't really need to take place. But some of these turnovers are just great defense.
Well, we talked about it. You see a lot of crashing in the A gaps by San Diego. They've done it all game long. So that mesh point on your dive read, right? You've got a defender right there. You got to be crisp, got to be quick, got to get that ball in and out. They don't do it. It leads to the turnover.
But it's also got to be direct. You can't have any bobbles or snaps, especially in the triple option.
Yep.
Each and every one of you for making the game experience so wonderful.
First down for San Diego. Gallegos, pressure coming, screenplay set up, lot of room. Trying to get outside. This is Cable to the 40, stood up there. Nice play
It took
by
half
San
the
Diego.
defense to take her down. But I'll tell you what, Dane, normally as you're breaking down quarterback play, obviously it wasn't shown right here, but if you look at Gallego, she's pedaling back. She may have taken too many steps back into the backfield and also threw off her back feet. Luckily, she went to her safety net.
Cable, fantastic job. And when you talk about some of those bigger receivers, hey, just stop the feet, right? Stop the feet and allow your teammates to come.
Or you got to
help
have
clean it
6
up.
of you to pile on top and get her down.
Thank you so much for your hard work. It doesn't go unnoticed.
First down. Motion from Guidry. She gets the handoff. Boy, big hole on that left side. Guidry up the sideline, inside the 20, 10, touchdown, San Diego.
San Diego.
Deanna Guidry with her 3rd touchdown of the game. And a nice late touchdown here from San Diego.
Taking a look at this play again, Dane. Hands it right off, goes into the sweep, and then comes around. She goes to the right, but then notices the cornerback's going to the right, and her blocker comes in and takes that. Hurry and slips to the left side, and nothing but the end zone from there. A great bounce back right there for San Diego. It might have just been a little too late.
Great vision from Guidry. I mean, you diagrammed it beautifully, but able to see that and get outside around it and then utilize her speed.
And she knew that she had speed. She would go into the inside to fake that corner and then go back to the left side and able to slip through it. But also a great block there, just staying with it.
San Diego, high snap again. Gallego was able to get it down. Will it crawl over? No, it was just short of the crossbar. It is 45-24 our score, but flags came in. Was there contact on the kicker? Yes, it was.
And I believe the kicker is the backup quarterback.
A little slow to get up here.
And it is, number 83.
Melissa Strother.
Yeah, she's the backup quarterback for Gallegos.
So we'll play this again. It's going to be half the distance. Or will it be 5 on the kick? I'm not quite sure how they'll enforce that. It looks like they're going to do half the distance.
And by then, you might as well just go for 2.
Yeah, Strother's coming off.
And that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, your kicker is hobbled. No sense to kick this. Just go for 2. And
You don't need to have a quarterback try and, well, unless it's your backup, but you don't need Gallegos to try and kick it through the uprights.
7.5 left here. San Diego trying to capitalize on the touchdown.
San Diego electing to go for 2.
A lot of room to the right side of the field, right side of the formation. Gallegos going to hand off, straight run, and the 2-point conversion is good. It's 45-26, the lead for the Utah Falcons.
Now watch on this play. Earlier, the linebacker tries to come up to force the offensive line to flinch. Great job by the offensive line for not flinching as they watch the linebacker try and get them to get a false start penalty and also creating the gap.
You know, so it's 45-26. We just documented that. Know that the end result of this game probably no longer in question. But how about this? And I know that there's not a lot of not moral victories. There's not a lot of victories and losses, right? Like at the end of the day, San Diego's going to lose this game. But they've scored 26 points on a team that's only allowed 13 all year long.
You literally just read my mind of what I was going to say next. The fact that I don't think any team other than in their one loss in the championship game a couple years ago would even get into double figures.
Yeah.
And let alone they have 26 points. It just goes to show San Diego is going to be a force to be reckoned with for the Falcons. It's not just going to be smooth sailing through this Pacific Division.
Now, I know their defensive coordinator is probably going to say, well, yeah, but our defense gave up 45 points and we only allowed 8 all year. And look, I'm a glass half full kind of a guy. So I'm trying to,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually noticed that. But you also got to look at how many possessions San Diego has had in this game.
Right.
And, Falcons did play well, but you're not going to play well every single drive.
Yeah. Onside kick here, and that scooped up. Utah was ready. Yep, Utah was ready for it. Might as well. Trailing here by 19. But the Falcons will possess it midfield.
So now of what I would do, if just try and clean things up, let's just try and get out of here without any injuries.
Right, and to me that's really got to be priority number one for the Utah Falcons. I mean, we've documented, we've seen Teleback on the field. We haven't seen Cox on the field. I mean, I don't think there's a reason to play her. Sakaros has her pads off. I mean, I think a lot of the players for Utah, they've if nothing else, we know San Diego's physical. And Utah, some of their players feeling some of that here late in the game.
Well, and you and I even talked about that in pregame, how physical they are and how big and mixed in with speed. As you look at that play right there, knocks down the center.
Yeah,
They're a very physical football team, and they're not going to back down from anybody.
It's going to be an encroachment penalty.
But it also shows, Dane, just how good the Falcons are and that they can weather the storm. And I think that right now, and I'm not just saying that because we're doing their game, they are the front runners to take in the league.
How about this? San Diego, first year in the IWFL. They were in the WFA, and they won championships in that league. This is a team that has competed at the top end of other leagues. They're now in the IWFL. They've been blowing away teams all year long. You look at their games, L.A., Nevada, Phoenix, they scored over 40 points in all of those, 72 against L.A.
So much to where L.A. forfeited their next matchup.
I mean, it was one of those where it's just like, this is a very, very good team. It's why we had high hopes for this game. And it's, to your point, I think we've seen today that this is, I think, easily the second best team in this league. And, a couple things go differently, limit the turnovers, and maybe they're able to compete with Utah for a full 60.
Well, really not only just a clean game, but of what they could use is some depth.
Yeah.
Instead of falling on all of these players, give them a breather. Because I could tell that a lot of these legs have been taken away.
Pitch here. Alcala with the carry. We've got a penalty flag. Couple of them coming in. I think they're both.
And one could have been taken right there with the push out of bounds after she was already out of bounds, it looked like.
Yeah.
I want to take a look at this again. Yeah, she goes right there. Pitch goes right there.
There's the block in the back.
So that one's given. But then she goes out of bounds, and she had both feet on the white, but
I'm letting that go. It's still football.
Yeah, absolutely. It isn't all unicorns and rainbows.
Yeah. But the block in the back certainly was there, very visible, and the right call there by the officials. Multiple saw it, multiple threw the flag. It's going to back Utah up. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and that one had to be called because that would have created a bigger advantage, for them, and it did. I mean, she was able to get in, almost a first down territory right there.
This throw, that thrown up for the crowd is receiver, quarterback on different pages there. Intended target, Caitlin Rafe.
Maybe on different books.
Yeah.
I mean, one was going straight, and Lane thought she was doing an out route.
Yep. Yeah. Third down here for Utah. Toss, and that one not handled by Tella. Trying to get on it, and it's San Diego on the ball. Another turnover off of a toss, and San Diego coming out on the field. The offense coming back out.
Now, as you look at this play, if it comes up, and it is right here. Okay, so it's bobbled, but now she's trying to get it, and then the player just runs right into her, the San Diego defense. And rather than worrying about diving on the ball, she wanted to make sure that she wasn't going to pick that up.
And honestly, if I played defense, that's what I'd do.
Yeah, it was a very smart play right there. Give credit. And now, say that San Diego scores a touchdown on this drive, we're back into a ball game again.
I mean, they would certainly need some help, and they would certainly need to play pretty flawless for the remaining 5:35. They are going to put time back on the clock. They're going to put 6 minutes as the clock continued to run. So it's going to be 6 minutes on the clock. But that toss, there was a lot of steam on that thing. I think that was tough for Tella to handle. And as it is, San Diego football, they just scored a minute and a half ago. And to your point, if they can do it again in the next minute or so,
it could create a lot of nerves.
There would be time mathematically for them to come back.
And right now, if I'm the Falcons offensive coordinator, Troy Chiltrin, you've got to tell them the same thing that I've been saying that San Diego needs to be preaching. Take care of the football.
Well, the tough thing is you are down in the backfield. Your starters have been banged up, hurt, they're not on. I mean, you're running with some backups and players that don't get a lot of reps together. Gallegos, well, she's got a man. That ball caught at the 10, 5, and a touchdown saving tackle, but what a reception by Clark. It's 1st and goal for the Surge.
This just goes to show how good Gallegos is in the pocket because she rolls out, but then she starts running towards the line of scrimmage. I mean, watch this right here. She gets it, okay, rolls out a little bit, but then she starts running forward as she's throwing the ball. She didn't even stop. She didn't plant her feet or anything and threw it right on the money.
Gallegos going to hand off to Bridges, met at the 5. Bridges trying to get through, won't be able to. Nice play by this defensive front of the Falcons.
Might have been an opportunity to maybe go play action. We do know that Keisha Cox is now done. I just saw her pads off now. She is sitting on the bench. So as we all predicted, she's likely not coming back into this game.
You know, one of the interesting things you talk about Gallegos, how about the arm strength of that play? She threw that ball, 35 yards, 40 yards in the air.
And it looked like she was throwing 10.
And it was accurate. I mean, it was right where it needed to be.
It didn't look like she put a lot of juice on that, but it did. That just goes to show how good she is.
Another handoff. Touchdown, San Diego. Rosado from 5 yards out. And as you mentioned, Trevor, maybe we got a ball game coming up here in the late stages.
And right as that touchdown happened, I went and looked down at the Falcons sideline at their coaches, and there's some words being said down there, and now it's starting to create some pressure.
San Diego here going to go for 2.
San Diego going for 2 points conversion.
That happens, you make it an 11-point ball game.
Gallegos will throw, has Guidry. Boy, that's good.
My goodness.
A little bit behind her, playing a little bit with fire there. You throw that ball out, it's an easy reception. Almost threw right to a play for Lexi Floor, but it is good.
Well, all Gallegos doing is showing off. I mean, if you look at that, I mean, she easily threw the right, but you've also got to look at the reaction time of the wide receivers because normally they know, okay, it's coming directly in front of me. But then, I got to hurry and turn around on a dime and try and
reach back
and catch it still up by your head.
Which is not easy to do in pads.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's
and
difficult.
Also wearing a helmet.
Yeah, it's difficult enough when you're playing like flag football with your buddies. When you're in full pads and helmet, like that's a tough catch.
And also people coming after you. I tell you what, that's going to be it. I would give a lot more credit to the wide receiver for that reaction time. I mean, that's got to be something that the San Diego Surge practice.
Hey, forget moral victories. San Diego's here to try to win. 4:57 on the clock. 45-34, and each team, Utah with 1 timeout, San Diego with 2, as the referee, they were getting ready to kick. They want to get things going and say, wait.
Stop it.
Officials are not ready, so we'll try that again.
Do they go for the onside kick but make it look like a kickoff?
I'm going to say yes.
Ooh, great catch.
Onside kick recovered by the Falcons.
Chanel Johnston had to be ready for that, and that's why they call it the hands team.
That rose up on Johnston quickly.
That came in her blink of an eye. If you look at that right there.
Yeah.
She wasn't ready for it to go that high, but whenever you're on the front lines of the hands team, you got to be ready.
All right, so to recap, no Cox, no Siqueiros, and Utah needs some first downs because San Diego, who has generated a few turnovers, has been fantastic. And this now the 3rd or 4th clock adjustment that we're having to make here.
And it looks like we've got another quarterback change. Luis Bean back in the ball game.
And this is where the Utah offense really flourished in that second quarter. They were trailing 18-7. Bean came back to take a 25-18 lead at the break. Being called upon here. She hands off with Tella up the middle, and Tella picking up a pair.
All you needed was some positive yardage on that first carry. You knew it was going to be on the ground because you're still trying to chew the clock, but you need 2-3 yards right here. And now coming up, you probably want to move that out to another 3-4 yards just to keep things rolling, keep the clock moving. But you can't have penalties.
And I would argue right now, I don't even care if it's a first down. You have 3 more plays. I'm going to go for it on 4th. You're going to take this clock inside of 3 minutes left. You do that, you make it really hard for San Diego to get 2 more scores in the remaining 3. Turnover. Cannot turn the ball over if you're Utah.
And also 2 timeouts still left for the Surge too, but you obviously don't want to use that right now.
And Utah going to take their last one.
Okay.
Last time out for the Utah Falcons, taken here by Coach Rasmussen.
And that's something you really don't want to happen, Dane, because you're now stopping the clock for San Diego. But it's something that had to be done because I'm guessing the play clock was running down and that they had to hurry and get it off. But since they didn't want to hurry and get it off, you don't want to rush it. And as you can tell, Rick Rasmussen's getting after his players right now. You just look at his hand movement and how he looks like he's not yelling, but he's raising his voice and just telling them, come on, it's time to get it together.
Boy, this has been
fun.
This has been an odd game, right? I mean, we talked about it. With the exception of the first quarter where Utah did have a touchdown, like only one team has scored in a quarter. We'll get into that in a bit. Out of the timeout, 2nd down. Bean hands off with Tella again. Tella up the middle. She's across the 50 to the 48. So, I mean, here's the interesting thing. It was 18-7 after the first. Utah scored 18 points in the second. They shut out San Diego 18-0. Third quarter, they score 20 points. San Diego doesn't score 20-0. Fourth quarter, we've got 2 San Diego touchdowns, 16-0. Like, it has been, like, it's just been odd.
There's also been some really odd plays, and we'll get to that after this play.
3rd down for Utah. Bean. Motion on the play. And again, it's Tella. Stood up. She'll gain a yard. That'll be it.
Something that I'll ask you, Dane, as you were driving to the stadium today, did you think in your mind you were going to call a 95-yard touchdown run?
No. I felt like 93. but I underestimated. So, you know.
Oh, you're just like, no, 95, there's no way. There's no way that was going to happen.
That's just crazy talk there. 93 is realistic. 95.
Especially after what happened prior to that. So for those of you just tuning in, as you're watching this, you're looking at it, and my goodness, second quarter, and again, the game could go down to this when it's all said and done, depending on how the score goes. Second quarter, there's a minute left in the game, or in the half, excuse me. San Diego has it, 4th and goal on the Falcons' 5-yard line. Turnover on downs. Okay, you know, it happens. But then the very first play, 95-yard run, Tinatella, the fullback, wasn't even touched, goes in the end zone. They go to the locker room, come out of the locker room, Falcons have the ball again. First play from scrimmage, another touchdown.
So, I mean, even we just go back to the end of that first half, right? San Diego, they march down the field, right? That's a multi-minute drive. It stalls at the 5, and then one play, and it's Utah in the end zone. That's a 12-point swing, and it's an 11-point game. 4th down and 4. And Tella here to punt. Boy, they nearly blocked that.
Ooh.
Got pressure.
And had that been blocked, that would have been really close to the end zone. She went in there full force. And Tella's down. That's not good either.
Yeah, Tella holding the knee. There was certainly contact there, and the San Diego player, I didn't get the number. Arms went up immediately. We'll have another look at it here. The contact in on Tella.
She got hit after the fact.
Yeah, leg was still in the air. Player runs into it. The whole Utah staff came out, arms up. We going to get a call on that? Nope.
Doesn't look like it.
She has played a great game this afternoon. Let's hear it for her.
So we got, what, 2:59 left. Trevor, let me ask you this. You mentioned that sequence, end of the first half, start of the second half, the way that went. Obviously, San Diego left those points on the field, but you've talked about plays of the game. How about some players of the game? Who, in your opinion, has been really the key for each side?
Right now, I'm going, obviously, Tinatella. You got to go for that 95-yard run, went untouched. You've also got to give it to Keisha Cox. She's been a workhorse today. But backup quarterback, Bean, her first name is
Luis.
Yeah, there you go, Luis Bean. See, you and I have got each other's back as cable goes there, but you got to give Bean player of the game. I would say those three, but Jordan Willis has got to be in that conversation too on defense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Utah Falcons that are certainly worthy of consideration. Gallegos on first down was able to connect with Cable. And, boy, the shoelaces went out of bounds. I mean, it was that close on the near sideline. She had a lot of room in front of her.
You just got to focus on trying to get a stop now. You've got to try and stall this offense because right now they have a lot of momentum. It's just shifted so quickly to San Diego.
San Diego, Gallegos over the middle, and that just a step out in front of the intended target. Was looking for Casey Clark. Coming over was Alcala on the coverage.
Just threw it to the right a little bit more, just a hair. That would have been right on the money. Just a great play right there. Great job by the secondary to recognize that and just not really focusing on trying to pick it off. You just want to bat it down.
And there's that accuracy that we saw back in the first quarter from Gallegos.
She looks like she's starting to get her mojo back.
Third down.
Press coverage here on third down from the Falcons. Pressure coming up the middle from Flugard. Or press guard, my bad. Here's Guidry. Guidry with some space across the 50. Guidry to the 30 and pushed out of bounds inside the 30 by Lexi Flora. Big gain on third down as we've got a hurt Falcon here at midfield.
You just look at it right now, Dane, and we'll find out who's down here in just a minute, and it looks like it's okay. And it's Myra Alcala. So just how much that this shifted just from that one turnover for the Falcons.
Boy, that replay,
on that fumble.
We had that hit, and Alcala got hit and hit hard. A look here. Check right in the middle of your screen.
Just blasted.
Hard hit.
Your Falcons defense.
Again, the physicality of San Diego showing itself here
Trying
late.
to send a message, and they're not giving up.
2:31 left. Boy, and a great play made there to bat down
Great
the pass.
recognition. Great recognition there by the linebacker.
Is that press guard?
I believe it is. It's hard to tell. Again, the number bunched up in the front. Yep, it was Lindy Prescott. Again, she's not making all the big plays that a normal defender would, but she's making enough.
On second down. Gonna come back. Has a receiver. Oh, right through the fingertips of Casey Clark.
You would maybe argue that maybe it was too far to the right, but it was a catchable ball. And as long as she kept her feet in bounds, it would have been a catch. So it was there.
Boy,
it's just right through the hands.
If that's straightened out, it's 6, and we've got a one-possession game with 2:23 left.
And now you're looking at third down.
Utah needs to find their energy on defense here. Gallegos. They got to get to the 19 for a new pair of downs. Going to throw back, and that ball incomplete. The intended target was Adriana Gutierrez, but Utah was all over that defensively.
Things have shifted quickly because it went from just a ball that just slipped through the hands on a catch the previous play before this, and now it can't even connect on a screenplay.
Probably the ball game. 2:19 left, 45-34. San Diego looking to try to make a last-minute comeback, and you're going to take a time out here to make sure everyone's on the same page.
And really, if you're San Diego, you just got to try and you just got to first get all of the wide receivers over to the sticks. You've got to get a first down. And one I would look at is Cable. She's the one who's, she's able to create space, and she's also able to catch a high ball. Why not try and go after that and try and – it's just the thing is, and it's nothing against her by any means. Her speed isn't – she's not the fastest on the team, but you've also got to create time for her to get to the first down marker. But then for Utah, if you're looking at the Falcons team, if you're Jody Thompson talking to his defense, you're just telling them keep them in front of you. But once they get to the sticks, you've got to swarm.
It's one of the things we've seen Casey Clark have the ability to get beyond the coverage. And you've got the ball on a near hash mark. You've got a lot of space to work with on that far side. They've gone after Lexi Floor. She's going to have coverage to the top of the screen here for Utah. Wouldn't be surprised. And look, Casey Clark is out on that side. Wouldn't be surprised to see this ball go top of the screen.
Another one to go after is Guidry, and she's following Cable around. Now they're splitting.
Single safety for the Falcons, playing in the middle of the field. Fourth down for San Diego. And they run it with Guidry. Not gonna. Whoa, she slipped the tackle. And she won't get it. Boy, not many times you see Prescott have a tackle slip through. It happened. Guidry couldn't get outside. A precarious call on fourth down. It's Falcon football.
I mean, I'm no coach, but that's not something I would probably call is a sweep play right there. But if you look, they only rushed 4, the Falcons did. Just wasn't able to get around the edge and get past that. She was able to break one tackle, but once you break one, you're using a lot of that energy and it's slowing you down, and then you have another one right there in your face.
How many times have we seen Lindy Prescott make that exact same play where she burst through the line on that angle, untouched, able to take down the ball carrier? I know she didn't get the tackle there, but she certainly slowed up Guidry enough for her teammates to have her back and make the play. But Prescott has done that all game long.
And I tell you what, Dane, tides have shifted. Keisha Cox is back in the game. Her pads were off a couple of drives ago, and then once San Diego started making their comeback, she put her pads on, and now she's in the ball game.
False start will back up Utah. Make it 1st and 15 as it will now be spotted at the 23-yard line.
There has been so many different sequences that have happened in this game, Dane. There's no really constant storyline here. You're looking at it, and everything has just changed. But that is what makes this game so fun and entertaining.
On first down, They'll go up the middle with Tella. Not a lot of room there for Tella. Picks up maybe a yard on the carry.
Second down and 15.
Yeah, right now you're just trying to chew up the clock. As you're second down now and you're under 2 minutes, you could probably get a few more plays off. But the thing is, San Diego still has 2 timeouts.
Yeah, I was thinking they used them all. I don't know if the scoreboard got updated with the timeouts.
You know what? That actually could be the case.
I thought they used them. So
now that I think about it, yeah, because the Falcons still had 1 left and it says they had 1 there. So I'm guessing that they don't have any timeouts. And now that's actually a good catch there by you. Maybe you could scoreboard operate too?
Why not? We got camera, Mike. We'll do it all. Toss here. And there was Cox forced out of bounds.
She seems a little tender around, like she seems a little more, I don't want to say afraid, but she just doesn't want to take contact. And obviously she ran out of bounds, which you probably don't want to do because then it stops the clock.
Well, the play's going to the short side of the field.
But
it's
it is
tough to keep that in bounds, right? And defended well by San Diego there. I'm kind of surprised they elected to go with that. I know you want to stretch them, but if you're going to do that, I'm playing to the wide rather than the short.
Yep.
Third down here for Utah. Tella in the backfield. Nice little flare out here by Cox, who receives the pitch, trying to get around the edge. Face mask penalty here going to be called as Tella, she get forced out of bounds again?
I believe so.
Boy, and he signaled against Utah.
I thought there was a face mask here.
I thought it was too. Let's see if we get another look here on the replay. Get a look at the near side.
Goes around the front.
Right
Oh,
there.
yeah, it's there. Even pulled.
See, and I'm not sure if he's calling a hold before that. I know the Utah fans disagree with him.
Wouldn't you still throw the flag and then maybe they offset?
Well,
if there was a hold, but then if there's another penalty, especially one like a face mask, where not only that, it wasn't even just touching the face mask, they grabbed and pulled.
Yeah,
like her head jerked to the right.
I'm not.
Again, I'm no referee.
Look, I'll operate the scoreboard. I'm not going to call a football game. I will not put on the zebras. So
do that. What, having a headset on too? That's
Yeah.
actually a pretty good view for a play-by-play guy.
Right?
You know?
Fourth down, Utah looking to punt. Tella will do so.
It might have been hit a little bit.
That ball will cross the 50, die at about the 43, 42-yard line with inside of 1 minute left, just by a second.
Pretty good bounce there, but I'm shocked that San Diego, maybe they wanted to put all the personnel to try and block it, and they were pretty close, if not, to even hit it a little bit. Hit the ball just a smidge.
So the Utah Falcons just continue to win. And, you know, give a lot of credit to San Diego. They could have folded in this game. Certainly didn't look good at the end of the third quarter. Nice response in the fourth quarter. They're going to come up short here, but Utah, and maybe it's most fitting that it's the defense that comes through with the late stop to really salt this game away.
But you really got to credit San Diego. They really showed a lot of heart when they were down 3 touchdowns, and they ended up coming back to within 11 to make it a ball game when we all were ready to, when the fans were ready to head out. They really showed fight, and it really just shows how good they are.
First down for San Diego. As anything now is just to change the final score. Gallegos will throw that ball caught by Cable. She secures it, trying to get out of bounds. She will. Out of bounds at the 49-yard line. That will stop the clock. Pickup of 7 yards on the play.
Gotta say, that is quite the target in Cable, Jessica Cable. But she was able to get out of bounds too, so credit that.
It's a quarterback's dream, right?
It is.
I mean, you look at
the ultimate tight end.
You look at where the game of football is going, and it's these physical tight ends that have athleticism, good hands, and Cable has shown that all game long.
Is Cable the Gronk of the IWFL? Would you say?
She might be. Gallegos, boy, good coverage by Utah. Not a lot of room to work. Cable with a one-handed tap back to herself catch.
Just when you think you've seen it all, right?
Sometimes you feel like a nut. I mean, Cable, look at this. The
ta-
left-handed, like, just pull it into the right. What a grab.
Rather than just pulling it down with your left, she taps it to her right, and
Sheesh.
because she's like, I'm definitely going to catch it if it gets to my right hand.
We've talked about the receiving core. I mean, this is unreal. Like, some of the catches that we've seen today from San Diego just can't speak highly enough of.
I would be curious to talk to the coaches after the game and ask them of what they prepped for with the San Diego team, if they really prepped their DBs on this air raid offense.
First down. Gallegos going to throw this out. And, boy, some contact there by Floor. No flag from the officials. There were a couple of Surge players being like, come on.
To me, it wasn't enough to call. I mean, as you look here, as Gallegos drops back, throws it, and the way you look at it, could she may have tripped her?
Here's my thing. I think that's a catchable ball. I think the defense comes up. There's contact there that prevents her from getting to the spot where the ball is going to be. I think you have to throw the flag there, personally.
Yeah.
Now,
the only thing you're looking at is was it enough contact or was it a trip? Because if it was, then yeah, you definitely throw that.
And see, my thing with pass interference is like, does it affect the potential outcome of the play?
Mm-hmm.
I think that one does.
That one definitely does. You're right.
We play on second down.
I'm telling you, man, you probably should ref too.
No. It's Guidry on the sweep, trying to get around the edge, able to step through a couple of tackles. Nice spin move there, but wisely will get out of bounds to stop the clock with 28 seconds left.
She ought to be on a Dancing with the Stars. Does nothing but just twirl and spin. I mean, the only thing I'm waiting for is a jumping over someone, which I wouldn't put it past her. Just unbelievable movement. Now, the only thing that she needs to work on, I think, is securing the ball and keeping it right in there in that safe zone.
You know, I love this San Diego offense. I mean, I could just go on and on. Gallegos, how impressive she's been. Accurate. She has the interceptions, but really it's been one or two specific throws a couple of times. But away from that, she's been great. Guidry's been dynamic. We've seen Clark, Cable. This offense for San Diego is a lot of fun.
Well, even the great quarterbacks throw the ball a lot. They're going to have picks.
Clark's open.
Knocked away at the goal line. What a beautiful defensive play.
I would like to see that again, Dane. Because is it a pass interference? I mean, it was pretty close to being caught anyway. She looked there. It goes deep.
She has a step.
No,
I think on that they're trying to make a play on the ball.
Yeah,
so I'm actually
there.
okay with that one.
To tell you, great coverage, though, but that was pretty close to being caught, too.
Yeah, it was really close to being caught. Now, another Falcon down, and this is not what Utah needs.
I tell you what, credit to this training staff for the Falcons. Been really busy today, keeping up with all these players, and some of them who we thought were done for the day go in the game.
Yeah, this is
got to give them credit.
Just another one, and this one looks to be rough. You saw on the replay, she's trying to make a play on the ball. She does, but then the players roll over each other, and another look at it here. Watch the end here as the players kind of roll over, and then another Falcon comes
goes right into the knees.
Yeah, Floor was shaking that left arm, so not quite sure if it was maybe a bit of a stinger or that shoulder getting popped, but she's going to walk off, jog off under her own power. Good to see that for Lexi Floor.
She is a big part of the wide receiver core, but she's been phenomenal in that secondary for the Falcons that have really been doing a lot of breakup passes. She's made her presence known on the defensive end of the ball.
Lexi and her fellow defenders doing a great job all afternoon long.
Fourth down here for San Diego. 22 seconds left on the clock. And a little shovel to Cable. Able to take this down to the 23-yard line. That'll be a first down. And now San Diego going to run up to the line. Was trying to figure out what was happening.
I think they were trying to call time.
I think they were trying to call a timeout, but they didn't have them. First down.
But then the clock stopped.
For the movement of the sticks.
First down,
that pass complete, and it's a touchdown for Guidry. Hey, the way we started this game is the way we end it. Gallegos to Guidry, that one from, 21 yards out, and San Diego with a token
Yeah.
touchdown
San
late.
Diego 40 with 4.3 seconds left in the ball game.
Well, at least the final score is going to be a little different. And you know what? I'm totally fine with that because this has been a very fun game.
Surge going for 2.
San Diego going to go for 2 here. Why not? Gallegos to throw to the end zone. That ball batted up and caught by Guidry. That went through 3 different players, and it's Guidry who comes down with it. It's 45-42.
It's only fitting for the end of this game, Dane. I mean, unbelievable. If you look at this play,
45, San Diego 42.
there's 4 players in there, 2 for each team, and 1 was batted, and then the other one was caught. Just unbelievable.
That's why you practice tip drills right there. Okay, so there's still a chance, right? There's 4 seconds left. You get an onside kick. Gallegos has shown us she has an arm. I'm just saying.
All you need is 1 play, and that's all it takes. I mean, that was all it took to sway the game at the end of the second quarter.
Folks, if these 2 teams play again, go to the game.
Yes.
This has been phenomenal.
This has been a lot of fun to call. I tell you what, though, Dane.
Gosh, if I'm Utah, I don't think I put anyone beyond 15 yards.
Let it go. Yeah, I wouldn't even have that safety back there.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. You've got an inside track to track anything down over your head, and now they are going to bring players up.
Well, looks like they're putting
actually just
Tasha
switched
Iono
them.
in the back.
Yep. They're going to have 10 players in the first 25 yards of this kickoff. Well, yes, it
And
will
it's
be an
basically
onside.
the whole hands team. Every wide receiver that they have on this roster.
Yep. The ball game goes straight away. That takes a hop.
And it's
that
touch, too.
It's loose. I think San Diego has it.
Unbelievable.
Now the clock is down to 0. So that may have taken enough time off the clock that it doesn't matter.
Let's hear from the referees.
It'll be interesting to see what the officials say about this. First of
Now-
all, whose ball is
Now,
it?
first of all,
San Diego has the ball, but the clock is running out.
we have had some clock issues today.
Yes,
right?
we have.
This is not the first time that officials could say the clock, we're changing this. I don't know if that took 4 seconds. It certainly took a while.
Yes.
It certainly took a while. Did it take a full 4.3? I don't know.
Because of the fact that I think it was Keisha Cox who had it. It was hit. She touched it, and then it rolled a little bit longer, and then it took a whole swarm
Now,
on
the
top.
clock doesn't start until the ball is touched.
Yeah, but
So is
there's
it-
also a whole swarm on top after that because she touched it.
But once the play is possessed and down,
Yeah.
the clock should stop,
Yes,
right? So, I mean,
it's just
to
a
me,
matter
it's-
of when does that happen.
Yeah, look, is it 3? Is it 4? I have no. They're going to put 2 seconds on the clock, and it is San Diego
Unbelievable.
football.
Did that take 2 seconds only? I thought it took at least 3.
Okay, so look, here's the replay. Now, this is not 100%, so we can't. It's touched there, right? So 1,000, 2, 1,000. That ball's right there. I don't think it takes 4 seconds.
I think it.
I
I think
don't
2
know
might
if
be
it
right.
takes, It might take longer than 2, but that being said, our opinion doesn't matter.
But this is awesome.
It's first down San Diego, and they can win the game.
Now, if I'm the Falcons, you are putting everyone on that goal line. You're putting everyone on that goal line.
Call your friends. We've got a finish from Cottonwood High School. Can the Surge pull off the upset?
They're just in their regular formation. They're just back a little bit. They're not pressing up, obviously, but they're not in full prevent defense.
Gallegos throws it. It's a hook and ladder, but she was up the field. That's an illegal forward pass. The ball game's done.
That's not how you wanted to end this one.
The Utah Falcons will breathe a sigh of relief on their walk to the locker room. There's a penalty flag, but this is against the offense. It won't matter. Our final score, the Utah Falcons defeat San Diego 45-42. Trevor, your final thoughts.
Just you got to give credit to San Diego for fighting back. When they were down by 3 scores, they then, San Diego comes back. But you've also got to look at what the Falcons have done, in that there was a lot of costly turnovers and a ton of mistakes. But guess what? The great thing about game film, you can learn from it and build from it. These are 2 great teams, and I think that this is going to be a great rivalry for years to come between the Falcons and the San Diego Surge.
Your player of the game.
My player of the game? Oh, man.
You only get one, by the way.
Do I get one on each side of the ball?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
All right, I'm going to go one on each side of the ball. Tina Tella, you've got to give her that because she's just been a workhorse. She gets injured. Obviously she already had the 95-yard run, which swayed the whole game. And then he gets injured, goes back in the game, and runs some more and just continues to be the workhorse. On defense, Jordan Willis. But a honorable mention, Tasha Iono for getting 2 picks. You just got to go with that too. But I'm going with Jordan Willis because she made a ton of game-changing plays. She was there. She was a ball hawk. Just fantastic to watch.
We've got ourselves a football league. The Utah Falcons 45-42 over the San Diego Surge. A heck of a comeback by San Diego, but they fall just short as the Utah Falcons remain undefeated. For Bill Francis, Vince Francis, Trevor Allen, our entire production crew, thank you for joining us, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you next time for more Utah Falcons football. Again, the final score, Utah defeats San Diego 45-42.